Hey, it's May 21st. It's Tuesday. It's me, Brad. It's you, Jeff.
Hello.
It's you, Ben.
Hi.
It's you, Jan.
It's me.
It's a room full of microphones.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. There's some on the floor, too.
Where we record the giant bombcast.
Whoa.
That catches my feet stomping.
There's a cable down here.
Yeah.
Mic cable.
Working on an audio version of Stomp.
Don't step on that. You'll kink it up, and then all the audio will build up. And
Yeah, and you let it out and it's just really loud.
all the words are going to come out at the same time.
Yeah.
Isn't Stomp already an audio version of Stomp? Isn't
No.
that like kind of the whole thing is they're stomping around and you
Absolutely
can hear
not.
them stomping?
No, you see them stomp. The audio is just a byproduct. In my version, the audio will be right at the forefront.
Everyone's back behind the curtain.
We are putting 200 microphones on a stage and on like a riverside and a lot of other areas to capture.
Wait, you're doing a new Riverdance?
Yeah. It is a backdoor pilot into a new audio-only Riverdance.
Oh, man.
It's time.
It's
about time.
Yeah.
I owned one of the Riverdance collections on VHS.
Mm-hmm.
I watched it a lot. And I thought one day I too could be a river dancer.
Wait, were people unironically into Riverdance?
I think my mom was into it.
Okay.
And she
I mean, it was like super popular.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
some people had to
Somebody
be getting
was.
it and being like, "Yeah, Riverdance."
I mean,
as
more
opposed to
like-
yeah, Riverdance.
More like people in this room.
you
Maybe
know,
that don't seem like the target demo
the new
so much.
sincerity.
Yeah, okay.
it was like weird Celtic music, which I had never kind of experienced before.
Okay.
I was like, what's with all these like bagpipes and shit? I'm kind of into this. And then yeah, I mean they were up there. There's like I just remember like I can close my eyes and picture it perfectly. Just a like chorus line of people in flowy white, kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean-esque.
Okay. Like
tank
a Pootie
tops.
shirt?
Yeah, with like a really deep V.
Ooh, that sounds comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were just dancing, men and women together in
Good
harmony.
garb in which to dance.
Yeah, man.
By the
Anything that can flow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like a lot of the same reason why I would watch polka music on
Yeah.
TV for a while. Is just you just look at it and go, "Man, these people look like they're having a great time."
They're having so much fun. Polka might be just like the highest concentration of like people sincerely having a good time
Yeah.
you can experience.
And I just watch it and go like, I don't have a good time like that.
No.
What are they-
Everything I do is clouded in irony
Yeah.
and shit. And,
You know who seems like a very happy person?
Who?
Weird Al.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
That
seems
guy's
like
went
he
through some stuff.
genuinely
Yeah.
enjoys life.
Yeah.
And he's
Has he?
just out there. Yeah. He's also an incredible live performer. I'm going to see him
Yeah.
this summer.
It was my first live show. I
Yeah.
was like 13.
Was it so what era was
that
that?
would
It was
have been
like
90. I'm guessing 92.
Is that, like,
93?
fat?
Like, yeah, it was like
It was-
fat.
He
era.
definitely wore the, like, I'm sure you know he does, like, insane costume changes.
Yeah.
He definitely did the fat whole thing.
Good.
Oh, he did the fat.
I mean, he had the suit and everything. I mean, he did the full thing. I'm trying to think, like, what was the newest material at that time? Probably the Nirvana stuff,
Oh,
okay.
sure.
Yeah.
I think, was
Right.
the current thing.
Take that, Kurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that was before. That was while Kurt Cobain was still around. I believe.
Yeah,
I
sure.
think.
I don't think he would have done that song
I'm not
if
sure.
it had been after, especially
can't
like
remember.
immediately after.
Yeah.
Like just
Weird Al's taking a weird dark turn. It's
Yeah.
just like this is the whole show now.
double down on the weird.
He also doesn't age. I don't know if you've seen him lately.
Yeah.
He looks like he looked 20 years ago.
But like ever since he started shaving, like
Yeah.
it's just that's not my Weird Al. My Weird
Yes,
Al is still
fair.
like the in 3D
Fair.
era, fucking
Yes.
like hosting MTV on April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Weird Al show.
Yeah, that's even a
Ooh,
little
too
bit
late?
too late.
That's my Weird
but
Al.
yeah,
Gandhi 2.
yeah, yeah.
one.
yeah.
Oh, UHF is so good.
Yeah.
I was on at a bar the other day, and I just sat there, not paying attention to anything my friends were
It's
saying.
an outstanding movie.
Wasn't this like his only movie?
Yeah,
He never did another one, right?
I mean,
think
he's
so.
appeared. He was in one of the Naked Gun movies for a minute, I think, with like Vanna White. Yeah, he had a cameo with Vanna White. Yeah,
Am I imagining that
Probably.
he did some? Okay. Oh God, I got to go home then. Did he ever do stuff with Alvin and the Chipmunks, or am I just imagining that? I feel like that was like a prime '90s
Weird Alvin and the Show?
Ah,
I don't know.
or maybe I'm thinking that they covered one of his parodies, which is
that's a weird.
It's his parody of the Chipmunks is him just singing chipmunk songs like this, really low voice.
Yeah,
All I want for Christmas is my two front teeth.
it's just the whole Patton Oswalt slow down Chipmunks bit.
Web search results are inconclusive.
All right.
There are a lot
All
of
right.
Weird Al songs that appear to be sped up so that people can post them as Weird Al done by Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Nightcore.
So there
Drive
you
in a truck with my high heels on. Weird Chipmunk remix.
Yeah. You like parody songs?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all right.
You like Minecraft?
They're okay.
Oh.
Yes. Sure.
You should get on Spotify. There's
Oh,
a lot of
good.
good.
What's the musical basis for a lot of these? Like what songs, what genre are we?
I'll just here's
parodying?
one that I think is like right up your alley. That I think is like I'm going to tailor this pick for you.
Okay.
Mine Oddity
Huh. Okay. Sure.
by MCap Steve.
Sure.
Also, this kid
guess.
sounds like he's maybe about 10ish and is yelling into it is blowing out a webcam mic
okay.
with the vocals
Okay.
over a MIDI of Space Oddity.
That sounds very sincere.
Yeah.
Speaking of sincerity.
That stuff is all on Spotify as well.
Yeah,
If
there's so much. Wow, there's so much.
there's a lot. There's a lot.
There's a lot.
If you type Minecraft in, there's a person that is just putting up like Minecraft note block versions of
I was about
popular
to
songs.
ask. Some of
Yeah.
those songs have to use like the internal tools, right?
Yeah, well, I'm guessing. I don't know if the person is actually doing these in Minecraft proper or is just like
He just
extracted
sampled.
that sound
Okay.
to a sound font is just like
That's even
cranking
fine.
them out.
That's fine.
Minecraft
Import
King,
MIDI, export song, upload to Spotify, profit.
Minecraft Gang, Minecraft Universe, Minecraft Steve, Minecraft Chick, Minecraft Finest, Minecraft Boy, all caps.
Maybe not profit, but you know.
I mean, Weird Al hasn't put out an album in 5 years, so somebody had to step into the void
Oh yeah, definitely.
and
yeah.
parody the hottest cultural artifacts of the day,
The void it is.
such as Minecraft.
None of the Fortnite songs have any of the fun of like a Minecraft parody. They're all just like
Yeah.
people earnestly trying to rap
Like
about
I'm
Fortnite.
writing this song about how badass I am at shooting people and building shit, and yeah.
And at the end
none
of the
it
song,
works.
Ninja comes in and we play duos together.
There is a track that has Ninja on it.
Oh.
Like he put out a mixtape with some
did.
fucking EDM
That's
with
right.
Ninja Tune, I think.
Yeah.
Which is like tragic for a lot of reasons.
Straight out of Twisted Towers.
Yes.
Aren't Twisted Towers gone? Oh,
Good.
God.
Good.
There's a song.
Because they got blown the fuck up.
There's a song on Spotify. I believe it is called "Like I'm Ninja." That is a dude trying to rap like about how he is good at Spotify, or he wants to be good at Spotify, good at Minecraft,
Turn off the recording. This one's just for us.
Fortnite, whatever
click.
it is.
$1 trillion movie idea. We
love
reboot
it.
Like Mike, but
Uh-huh.
it's Like Ninja.
Great.
He's outside. It's a kid outside his local Minecraft or the Fortnite tournament, and he sees the Ninja Red Bull headband up on the telephone line.
Yep.
And he gets it down. He puts it on. He wakes up the next day. They're like, "Oh, Ninja broke his left pinky finger. We need somebody to replace him in the celebrity E3 Celebrity 1 vs. 100
Build it like
tournament."
Blevins.
Okay, you can turn the recording back on.
All right. We're back on. Jeff, you appear to have survived another year of another week in L.A.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Cool.
went
Tell us everything you saw.
I saw some upcoming video games that people will find out more about at
Let's run 'em down.
E3. Run them down.
You
Number
saw
one.
Crystal.
First game I saw. First game I can talk about. Rocket Arena.
Oh, did you see that?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah.
Oh,
think
okay.
so.
I put it in news solely because I can't believe the gall of somebody making a game
Right?
called Rocket Arena.
Right? Right? Right?
I mean, I know this is extremely old man yells
Right?
out loud, but holy shit.
Check out my new game, Team Deathmatch.
Like, I'm trying, yeah, totally. I'm trying to think of another analog for that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nexon is making a game. It's First Strike Games, the studio that's like, I think it's a lot of ex-Halo
Yeah,
devs.
like former 343.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. The details of the game are irrelevant to me. Just if people don't know, Rocket Arena is like probably the most popular Quake mod ever made.
Oh, I wonder.
Maybe
It's the only one I've heard of.
Maybe after CTF was technically
Yeah.
a mod,
Okay.
but CTF is just so part of the game.
But like three-way CTF is probably still...
maybe CTF is more popular, but Rocket Arena is like right up there.
Rocket Arena is probably my favorite Quake
Like, it
mod.
was huge.
Up
Like-
there with like Jailbreak
Like there were tons of people who only played Rocket Arena and nothing
and
else.
Action Quake.
Right.
Oh, weird. I only know Jailbreak as a CS Counter-Strike thing.
Yeah.
So-
It also was a UT mod. There was a
Okay.
UT version of Jailbreak as
Okay.
well.
Also this runs on the Unreal Engine. Like
Right. Yeah.
just to add insult to injury.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're
the
not
odd-
making a Quake.
The audacity of these people.
Yeah. It was. Yes.
Can't
I
believe they're-
played that game. I sat down to play that game, and in my head, I'm like, this is not going to be Rocket Arena.
But I mean, also everybody who liked Rocket Arena is like 50 years old now. So,
Sure. Yeah.
so whatever.
And
I
not-
like the
and not
idea
playing
of a Rocket Arena, though.
Yeah.
That sounds appealing to me.
Is this just that?
No.
Okay. There's more to it.
It's a 3v3 like
Oh.
character-based, ability-based
Oh.
thing. It's
Oh.
it's a totally.
It's not even a-
It's a first-person shooter.
It's not even
Do they all have
Arena.
rockets?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
They all have rocket-like projectiles, let's say. Rocket jumping is a key part of the
right.
game. Yeah.
Sure.
'Cause, I mean, true to its name, the original Rocket Arena is just two people spawn into an arena with rocket launchers and bounce each
exactly.
other around with
Right.
splash
All
damage.
the weapons. Like you can
Well,
change,
yeah,
if
yes.
you're one of these knuckleheads that wants to change to a different weapon, you can. But like honestly,
It's called Rocket
it's
Arena.
called
Yes.
Rocket
It's not
Arena.
called
called,
Minigun
it's not called Railgun Arena.
I guess when Rocket Arena, when RA2 came out, I think you saw more weapon switching because
Sure.
the rocket launcher in Quake 2 was more divisive.
Sure.
And some people were like, "Fuck this! I'm going
Yeah.
to use the railgun."
You're right. It's a bad rocket launcher.
It's a different
too
rocket
slow.
launcher. It's very slow.
too slow.
It's a tactical weapon now.
It's too slow and too weak.
It's not just a fucking endless fucking blast machine. I mean, the Quake 1 rocket launcher is fucking undefeated.
Would you call it one of the top 10 video game guns of all time?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Easily.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
It was that whole game.
That sounds like a good after show idea.
Almost
Yeah.
every other weapon except the lightning gun was just a weapon you had until you could get the rocket launcher.
Yeah. But the Quake 2 rocket launcher is fine. It makes a cool
Sure.
noise. The rockets are slow, but still devastating.
Yeah.
Are they as slow as like the gun in Aqua Teen Hunger Force? The little like very slow.
They are not. It is not that slow. That's like BFG slow.
Feels like it though.
Um,
Anyway, I'm surprised that was not embargoed. Well, they just announced it, so I
yeah,
mean,
they did. They announced it.
Okay.
That's
Surprise.
always kind of the way that there's always
always
like
something.
rolling embargoes. You have some companies that want to get out ahead of E3,
Yeah.
but they're still showing it at E3 and stuff like that. So I saw a handful of games that I will talk about when E3 starts, or we will record a thing prior to E3 starting that you will hear once E3 starts.
Yeah.
Where I talk more about some of
in
that.
like 4 months, right? When E3 starts.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Uh-huh.
Like 6 months from now, when
Yeah,
we're
oh.
at E3, and
Oh,
what's that, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
3.
Yeah,
2? No.
Let's
God.
say 2.5.
yeah. Let's
3 weeks from tomorrow, I think, is the first day of
I
the
think
show.
we fly out on the night.
Is that right? I think that's right. That's
Woo.
right.
Yeah.
Let's say that's right.
Fuck. All right.
It's 2-ish weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a couch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we
We
do.
got a room to put the couch in.
Two
Yep.
weeks from this coming weekend is when we go down there.
Yeah, we
Yes.
got a bunch of guests booked
Yep.
to come talk to us about stuff.
Do we have Ninja?
I don't want to confirm or
'Cause
deny
I want to pitch.
any.
I want to pitch him on my movie.
All right, well
I want
that's
to pitch him on like Ninja 2: bend it like what Blevin?
Blevin. I said, he was recording that time. You fucked
Oh,
it up, man.
shit.
Our whole
Yeah,
thing.
retroactively.
Okay,
You need to
yeah.
Yeah,
and
bleep
fix it
that
in post,
out.
and
Yes,
also
we
do
do
like
that
a
now. We bleep a lot of stuff on these podcasts.
MIB memory wipe.
Everyone watching live, do not clip that out.
Yes,
No.
Please.
absolutely do not.
It is our secret.
That's copyright us. That's binding.
Yep.
Would you say we copyrighted that? That means
you-
that you can't.
If you say it in
yeah.
a podcast and then mail yourself the SD card, then
Yeah.
you legally under
Okay, take this
copyright
SD card to the
protections.
mailroom when we're done here and have them deliver it to your desk. I think that probably counts. Say, hey, could you bring this to me in like 5 minutes?
I saw one of the mailroom people last Friday taking a whole fucking tub of cream cheese. I don't mean to be a bagel cop or anything.
Ooh.
Were they
But-
taking it at the end of the day?
Was it
like,
sealed?
Mm,
Oh,
no,
they're
it
taking
was
it like
sealed.
early on.
What time
like-
of the day are we talking?
Was it a full fat or a reduced fat?
I didn't see the type, but it was 11 o'clock.
Dude, that's prime bagel time.
It's
Yeah.
prime bagel time.
That people are getting bagels every 5 minutes at that
After
time.
lunchtime, I think anything goes.
Oh, yeah,
grab a
sure.
whole tub, grab the rest of the bagels,
Yeah,
do
just
whatever
walk
you
in there,
want.
Just fucking start throwing them around.
Yeah.
Just
If
there's like
smear
5
the
bags of
leftover
bagels
butter
left,
and peanut butter all over yourself.
it's prime bagel time. If there's 2, do what you want.
Anything goes.
Yeah.
But maybe this person has like witnessed that stuff go barely used in a way where they're just like, "Fuck this, I'm taking this."
I mean, the stand is right there staring
Yeah.
at
You know
the
what?
bagels.
Yeah.
So they
You know what?
probably
At
know.
least the mailroom employees work on this floor.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, they're not coming down from 6 to raid our bagel stash.
I'd say
Thieves.
I have a bagel once every 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
On their
Sure.
little Friday bagel delivery thing.
Sure.
So I'm part of the problem. If I were consuming more of the bagels,
Yeah.
people wouldn't come down to steal them because they wouldn't be there.
Fair.
So that's on me.
Yeah.
Um,
They have any bagels in LA?
Probably. I
Can you
a
talk
lot
about
of
the
a lot of tiny
food?
croissants.
Okay.
Ooh.
With anything in them?
No.
Or just plain croissants?
Yeah, no, it's some tiny,
Top thing to put in your croissant.
Mm.
Ham.
Yeah.
bacon and cheese.
I like a good almond croissant with
Oh,
that little
yeah, okay.
paste.
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
Or, yeah, alternately some kind of chocolate
Yeah.
chocolate croissant.
I could do it.
Croissants are good.
It is
all around underrated. Like people don't talk about croissants a lot.
It's hard road food
bread
because it's so flaky and it just makes a damn mess, and you're just getting crumbs all throughout your beard and shirt and floor and everything, and that's really turned me off.
But then the nice thing is it's shaped kind of like your mouth, so you can just put the whole thing in there and just slowly work on it, like a squirrel with nuts or something.
Yeah, I have no
like a salt lick, but you can just kind of gnaw on it on the road.
I have no response. I'm starting to get an impression of how this year is going to go for video games.
Yeah.
I guess I would say.
And I'm debating if you want to just get into it now.
Sure, yeah. Just
we have a story and news that kind of ties into it. I guess we could just get all that out of the way.
Then I'll just give you the short version of I think there will be some pretty high highs this year.
Okay.
But in terms of quantity, this isn't going to shock anybody that's been paying attention. I think it's
see this coming.
You can look at the release calendar for the year.
Yeah. You look at the release calendar for games.
Companies that are there.
Yeah.
And which ones are not.
Yeah. You look at E3 and you go okay, there's going to be some big stuff there. People are bringing big shit, and some of that big shit is going to come out this year.
It's like your real.
But many of those games have been announced already. This isn't necessarily stuff that's secret shit.
Yeah.
But also I can't divulge the games I saw one way or the other. So there you go.
I mean, if you think about it as this year and early next year is kind of your last chance to make a big statement on this generation.
Yeah.
So and also it's preparing for the next generation. So you're combining a lot of new tech and stuff, and just hope I want to see some I saw a conversation going around, a lot of people kind of talking about games of the generation and stuff. We're starting to get to that point.
Right.
And I was trying to think of what's still to come. Oh, guys, hold on. There's still, and then I couldn't really think of anything much.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the stuff that we are going to get is stuff that's follow-ups to games that have already been out in this generation of games, and like the types of games that you're going to see. It's a lot of stuff that you've seen before, but high-quality variants of that, I guess I would say.
Just about anything that's not out at this point, I wonder if it's going to just start straddling both generations. Any major game that is announced now, I have to think okay, are they also going to do a PS5 version?
I think anything that's got a date is probably not in that realm right now.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot that doesn't.
When you look at a Death Stranding or some of Sony's kind of further out stuff.
On the PS4.
Or it could straddle.
Even some of the third-party stuff though, like Cyberpunk and
Dying
Light 2, and some of these really ambitious games.
And the studios that haven't announced anything, I don't think, people are every year someone's what's Rocksteady working on? But totally. This is probably not the year for them to announce a game that is coming out this year. At this point, they're probably on to the next thing.
Yes.
I'm assuming that all this Splinter Cell talk that's going around is not for this set of consoles. Pretty sure that will happen, but.
That makes sense too, because it's just such a big name. If you're trying to make an early impression on the console, you come out here. It's here's our Splinter Cell.
Exactly. Yeah,
you've got something. You
know
who that is,
right?
I really didn't know what to make of that tweet.
It's just someone fucking clowning around.
I guess,
but also
it didn't read. It didn't read that jokey to me though.
So it was a voice actor.
No, it was one of the
producers or something, right? But wasn't the tweet hey, and we're crossing over with The Crew 2?
Well, kind of, but it wasn't.
That's a joke.
But it wasn't. Well, no, it was more hey, we're working. It's creative minds of Ubisoft teaming up for a new Splinter Cell. It was more serious sounding than that.
Okay.
Because it was. I wish I could remember some of the names.
All I saw was the aftermath of it, of fucking people going holy shit.
It was the.
Why would you do that?
It was the head Far Cry 5 guy, Dan. Is that his name?
Yeah.
It was him. Julian, I forget his name from, I believe, The Division.
Okay.
It was
so it was a bunch of
it was creative names from Ubisoft. It wasn't hey, we're adding cars to the new Splinter Cell.
Okay,
it was
it.
Hey, these big name creatives from Ubisoft are teaming up for a new Splinter Cell.
All right.
It read a little more serious than
than
it should have if he was just joking.
Yeah.
I mean,
didn't he tweet please don't retweet that?
Yeah. Look, they're gonna do that game eventually.
Sure.
that's not.
Is he gonna put the goggles on?
Yeah, of course. But you'll hear the noise first, right? That's the trailer, right? Is you hear the and then
I don't know though. I mean, they never made one this generation. The last Splinter Cell was a 360 game,
right?
I wouldn't have taken it for granted that they would be going back to it anytime soon.
It's time. Like they've like people have been clamoring for it low key long enough, and they've been kind of low key hinting at it just enough with like the Michael Ironside shit.
So what was it? It was like 2014 was the last.
I think it was before that.
2012 or something.
That's
sounds
somewhere
right.
in there.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
13, something like that.
Yeah, I think that it's time. You know, or it's about to be time. Let's say for that game to finally happen. But I guess I don't know anything concrete about that.
Yeah,
one way or the other. But that stuff, you know, jokey or not jokey, like it you know, it was enough for Ubisoft to fucking go into some kind of alert, like what the fuck are you?
Yeah,
like so.
Yeah.
So you know.
Plus, I mean, they already announced the new Ghost Recon. And the scuttlebutt around is that the Watch Dogs 3 stuff is all but confirmed at this point. Like sites are running stories saying like, yeah, it's real. Yeah, all that's real.
Like everyone's pegging it as a game that's in London and all that other stuff
and coming out this year.
And, so that's you know, that's probably a game we see at E3, right?
Yeah. A bunch of details were floating around in the last couple of days. I don't know how much stock to put in that stuff, but like female protagonists set in London. I think like you're supposed to be infiltrating some kind of hacker terrorist collective.
Okay.
Also, no guns. This is all completely unconfirmed. None of this could be real. But
But you know, if you think about like the reaction like to the way guns were used in Watch Dogs 2,
like that sounds exciting, or that sounds like the right direction for that. So, like, they were saying like you'd be using like batons and tasers and like non-lethal stuff instead of straight up assault rifles, which just
London probably makes that make a little more sense, I guess. Like, that's not a. I don't know what the like citizen gun laws are there, but that was always like, hey,
police definitely,
exactly. Like you set it in a territory where like you know, hey, there are not as many guns, and that can make a little more sense.
No guns, cameras everywhere, perfect for a Watch Dogs.
Yeah, totally. Like honestly, like that's exciting. So hopefully that ends up being the case.
That could be cool.
Or it's like in the last mission, you find a pistol, and it's just like then the music, and it's like holy shit. It's like one of those dubstep.
You get like 6 rounds for the whole game.
Hit markers show up all over the place all of a sudden. And
that would be wild. Like a game where you have like single-digit ammo for the entire game, and you have to make it really count.
That's kind of well, I mean, it's a game about shooting, but Rage has. It's either as like a deluxe edition or as a pre-order thing, like you get the BFG from Doom.
Yeah, I think it's the $20 extra edition.
Yeah,
I believe is right.
And so you get the BFG as soon as you get out of the first town, but like no ammo ever drops for it. There's one town in the game that sells BFG ammo.
Oh, weird.
So you can replenish it, but it does give it that feeling of like, hey, like don't shoot these unless you mean it.
Yeah, that's kind of not the part where you have to buy the deluxe edition to get the gun, but but that's a cool concept, kind of.
Yeah.
Of making it matter. All right, should we just talk about the games of the now?
Yeah. You playing any more of that Rage?
I did. I put some more time into it. I haven't quite finished it yet. I think I have like 2 missions left before I get to probably what is the final mission.
I heard the actual, like, if you just kind of critical path the story, it's pretty short.
Yeah,
so I'm
like 14 in now, because I've been any location I've gone to, I've cleared out. Like I'm getting stuff. I'm upgrading like, damn near everything.
You mean like finding all the storage containers? Fuck that.
So there are upgrades that make a radar thing show up.
Okay, all right, going for that, because that's like ruining that game for me.
Totally.
I don't know how many times I've like stopped at, or I've been stuck on a location with 1 storage box left to find, and like they have like pink lids, so they should be pretty notable, but like a lot of them are hidden in very dark places, and those lids don't really show up.
That pink doesn't pop to me as a colorblind.
No.
So
even I see color fine, and I don't even notice them. Like you could absolutely just move on.
Oh yeah,
like it's not. None of the resources are absolutely critical.
But the Feltrite stuff, like if you want to explore the upgrade tree, so that's the thing. Like if you don't want to engage with the vast majority of that game's systems, it never forces you to. And I think that's broken in a way, because it's a game that has interesting abilities that you can finish the game without even finding.
Right.
And as a result, the abilities never feel critical or even crucial. They don't build levels around like expecting you to have these, because in some cases they don't know if you will. So stuff like double jump and like some basic shit. And so you get these abilities, and they don't feel like they're well integrated into the flow with the range of combat, with the other stuff. Like you have to go out of your way to use them. So I went down the tree of like, okay, I'm going to reduce the cooldowns on these abilities as much as I can. I'm gonna stop fucking shooting them from a distance, which is the just easily the most effective strategy to just fucking wipe that game out, is to just fucking shoot things in the head. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever.
The unarmored enemies, the headshots are extremely effective.
Yeah. And so, like, okay, I'm going to try to use the shotgun more because it's a fun shotgun. I'm going to try to use the abilities more because once I'm in shotgun range, that's a little more likely to happen. And it's just not, it doesn't flow right. It doesn't feel good. Like, you can reduce the cooldowns to the point where, like, you're just hitting overdrive you hit overdrive, it lowers all your cooldowns, you kill a bunch of guys. As soon as you pop out of overdrive, you only have to kill, like, 2 people to get overdrive back again. But, like, it doesn't feel fun to use. That stuff doesn't chain together well.
Yeah, it seems like, excuse me, it's a bummer because overdrive, to me, I feel like you could have done a lot of cool things where it's like all your abilities are off cooldown or something like that. But
use them over and over again.
It's just like you just shoot better and move faster, right? Is kind of the main.
But also like health? So there are also upgrades of like, okay, I want to regen health while I'm in overdrive. When you hit overdrive, it reduces your cooldowns by like 35%.
Okay.
And so like there's stuff like that gets you closer to where you want to be. But it's never quite that over-the-top, like, holy shit moment.
Which is like all their marketing for this game.
Like, there's no moment in that game that is like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm badass. Like, there's nothing like
there's
that.
no moment where it feels like Andrew WK should show up.
Yeah. Right. Though he is, I think he's not in the game yet, but, like, he's in the credits. Like, he's credited like to a character that is mentioned as, like, one of their free updates. Like, so I think...
Oh, are they doing free updates for that thing?
Yeah.
Huh. For a fully single-player game?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, they've got, like...
I mean, I know they sell, like,
skin
skins
shop
and
shit in that game. And
like, it really is a post-apocalypse.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I think that Rage 2 feels like a huge missed opportunity. Like it's not a bad game.
Yeah,
but
it feels like 80% of the way to being a really cool game.
Yeah,
or maybe that's generous. I don't know.
Yeah,
you tell me your percentage.
I mean, if I was doing percentages, I might say that's 70%, okay, 72%. Sure. Somewhere around there. I mean, but if your scale did not have a 7,
yeah,
I might round it up. Because I am not enjoying that game. How about that?
Like some of its individual parts are pretty good, but they don't find a way to lock them all together.
Exactly.
In a nice,
like the boss fights
way.
are really underwhelming. Like it's some of the
watching that quick look where you just wasted that guy.
Yeah,
it was such a big, cool moment where you're like bringing this satellite down to Earth, and this huge, like radiated mutant monster man comes out, and you just kind of shot him.
So after that, I kind of started playing with like zero fear because it gives you the difficulty of each area before you go into it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, that seemed like it should have been tough, and it wasn't. What does difficulty 10 look like? And I just wandered into an area way north on the map of like, okay, there's an arc up here. I can get a new ability or a weapon or something. I'm just like, fuck it, let's go. And fought like 2 of those things. It's not difficult. It's not a difficult game. Like tactically, you know, you could probably crank up the difficulty. And someone actually got a hold of me and said like, hey, the difficulty settings actually matter, and maybe try turning it up. And I will. I'll try turning it up. But like
So maybe start on a higher difficulty than you would normally.
Yeah, maybe.
If you're just
maybe.
It up.
But if that's really if the main change with difficulty is just like, hey, we tweak the numbers so that you take more damage and deal less, like that's not fun. It's never fun.
It wasn't really until I don't play a ton of shooters, but when I was playing The Division, playing that game was cool to see how you can make enemy AI really smart and like make it so that the difficulty isn't in how long do I have to shoot this guy. It's like, oh, it's a cover game and they're going to start flanking you really well. Right. They're going to start positioning grenades really well. Like that game really showcases what how you can make a shooter difficult other than just like, wow, these enemies are on cheap and
where it's like, okay, like I need to play skillfully and intelligently,
right?
As
I need
opposed
to use my abilities smart,
as opposed to just I need to be faster.
Yes,
you know, that's a bad difficulty curve, I think, for action games and shooters and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a shame, but also like I thought Rage 1 was pretty. I think this is better than Rage 1 because I thought Rage 1 was a bad game.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Yeah, I know you.
Rage,
you like Rage.
Rage was a very uneven game.
Yeah,
it had good shooting and like not a great open world.
I lost 3 hours of progress of Rage, and so it's the worst game I've ever played.
Well, there you go.
And it looked and ran amazingly for the time, though. Holy shit!
It was neat. Mega textures, giga. So it's the thing about Rage though was like it had this very hard divide of the open world is there and it's kind of whatever.
It was very underutilized,
right? But when you get into the like levels for your missions, like that just felt like an id shooter level.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the Halo like ODST thing of like, hey, you've got this like big open area, but when you get into the levels, it feels like the game you think it is.
Yeah.
And so Rage at least did that.
Yeah.
And this just even the open areas don't really have that feel. So it never feels like an id shooter, which it's not.
Yeah.
Does it get boring just driving around everywhere?
Yeah, like so that I feel like the open world is not like vibrant enough or lively enough. There's like I want some more like just weird ass chance encounters with AI, and like
you don't get that.
I feel like at best they'll like drive by and maybe take pot shots at you, or
they keep going,
or they will. Yeah, they never like stop to attack you, or they like will fight each other a little bit, but in a very inconsequential way.
Yeah, like none of it matters. So I eventually just like got off I got out of the car and started running around just to see what I could see. And so, because, the car will stick you to the roads. Like, okay, well, what does off-road, what does it look like out here? And there's nothing there.
Yeah.
There's not like more bandit camps. There's more that, like you'll find more of the kind of objects of interest or whatever.
But you don't find like a downed NPC who's like, hey, I need to drive me to town.
There was nothing surprising about
no like Red Dead style.
Yeah, there's no like, I don't even know what term am I looking for. Lore. There's no storytelling. There's no characters really out there, like outside of the little towns.
Yeah, like the most lore that game has had is like it's a mission that I think is only like deluxe edition or pre-order or whatever that like ties into the first Rage. And like that is the thing that has had the most like story or like relevance to it so far.
Like I went north, I found something called an ecopod.
Yeah.
Does that ring any bells?
Yeah.
It was like some giant tower, and there were 3 of the fancy treasure chests there. And there was something called a shrine next to it that was like a grave for some lady.
Okay.
That had like a data pad with her name on it, but there was no context about who that was or why it was there.
Yeah.
It's just not much.
The way they handle side missions is very like flimsy. It's like there's a lot of stuff in that game that I think should have been done better and tied together more effectively. Yeah. And I think that the gameplay has promise, but it doesn't take advantage of its own systems.
Like I think the most exciting moment I've had so far, or like most kind of emergent moment, although it's actually not, is the first time I found a convoy, which is a side activity, but it's a mobile one because the convoy's driving around, and like that's cool because then you actually have to use your car weapons, and it's a straight up car combat challenge.
At least there's something in there that
forces
you to use them.
The first time I did that, I spent 5 minutes whittling down all the defensive vehicles, and then got to the boss vehicle, and then it was like, oh, that thing's got energy shields. You better figure out another way to take those down. And then I looked, and like I couldn't afford the upgrade that takes down energy shields, so I couldn't even finish the cool activity that I found.
Oh man.
Yep, that happens.
Does it mark all the arcs as you go near them? Like I did all the arcs that they flag at the beginning of the game, where they're like, "Hey, there's 3 arcs where you could find some cool stuff."
If you go near enough to one, he will say, "Oh, an arc."
Okay, so like that was my question is,
so like
the
other thing though is like, and they do tutorialize this, they do mention it, but it's easy to forget. Like if you hold down focus when you're out in the open world, you will see arcs. Like there will be
what those columns of light are?
Yes, those are arcs.
Damn it. Okay, I should have just gone there to see what they were. I wondered what that meant.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's my question. Should I just scour the map and find every arc I can find and get all the powers before I do any of the story?
Some of the arcs are going to be like, one of them was that difficulty 10 arc I did way up north.
Okay.
So, and that got me a weapon that is totally inconsequential.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like it just feels like a waste to do any of the story content before you've got all the cool gameplay stuff.
But also, you don't need any of that to do the story content. So it's
but if I'm just running around shooting people in the head with the assault rifle, like I
stop playing.
I may just not.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Play more of the game.
But also, I think that the weapons in that game are not like I have a pistol that like it shoots incendiary rounds that don't ignite until you hit alt fire. So it's like a revolver that just shoots bullets that don't do anything until you hit the left trigger. And then everyone lights on fire, which is like, it's a neat idea, but like it doesn't do that much damage, and they're still shooting you as you're attaching those things to them. You're like, what the fuck is like? This is pointless compared to the rocket launcher or railgun that I have, or something. So that game really comes down to just like assault rifle, shotgun, rocket launcher, railgun, and then it's got like 4 other weapons in it that are just like fucking pointless. Like the pistol you start with, there's no reason to ever use it ever again. Unless you're such a bad shot or so bad at picking up ammo that you run out of the other bullets. Like it's just, and that incendiary revolver, it's like that. It feels like, hey, the developers of Just Cause wanted to put some fun, weird shit in here. So one of the abilities is like a vortex grenade. And you're like, oh, that's like a physicsy thing. That makes sense that this developer would do this. But like, it's so ham-fistedly inserted into like the combat that it doesn't flow with the other stuff all that well. You don't need that as like a, hey, I need to take the pressure off me by floating these guys in the air for a couple of seconds, because in the time it took you to throw that grenade, you could have killed both those guys with a different gun. And that's a problem.
I actually had that thought a couple nights ago. The last time I played the game, it hit me at a certain point. I was like, "This is the studio that made Just Cause 2."
Yeah.
Like how?
Yeah. Well, it's
how-
also
It's
the studio that made
Mad
Just Cause
Max.
3 and Just
Well,
Cause 4.
no, that's New
3 and
York.
4
So
came out
that's
of
a
the New York
different-
studio.
yeah.
Okay, that explains
It's
that.
the same developer, different team.
So Sledge.
No, this is still
No.
Avalanche. But it's the
Avalanche,
original
yeah.
Avalanche team in
Avalanche.
Sweden, I believe.
yeah.
I guess they made.
So it's Just Cause 2 and Mad Max.
Did they go straight to Mad Max from Just Cause
think
2?
so.
I guess that's right.
That seems like a long gap.
Kinda, yeah.
I guess Mad Max is older than I think it is.
Just Cause 2 is so good.
And it never was that good again.
I don't know. Yeah, that was kind of the peak of that series, and then this
Yeah.
is doesn't even feel like that.
No, and you know, it shouldn't because it's a sequel
Well,
to Rage.
yeah, but it doesn't have that liveliness to it.
No, it does not.
It's
But you see like little hints of like them trying to do what they did there,
Kinda.
or trying to do a physicsy thing
Yeah.
in a game that isn't really set up to take advantage of that all that well.
Some of the upgrades I've been seeing in the tree look like it would kind of make it a little bit more of that, like the one where you can kind of eject out of your car as it's driving.
Right.
Like I kind of want to get that immediately and then just roar into every settlement that way.
Sure.
Just like run over people and then pop out of the car as it's flying through the camp.
Or
and
what if you
shoot
did
them
the
on the way down?
boring thing and stopped in front of it and stayed in your car and shot everyone?
That's what I've been doing so far.
Yeah.
You kill 80% of the enemies at the location from your car and then get
yeah,
out and pick
man.
off the last 3, and then you spend 10 minutes looking for the last storage box.
spend your stuff on your. I think it's the focus tree has.
I will.
Has the only hassle there is that the indicator of something nearby is the same for all objects, so you don't know if it's a spy thing.
Okay.
Or as you upgrade, as you buy more of them,
Okay.
I guess you don't.
Is
know
that
if
a
it's spy.
project?
Those-
There's so many upgrade types in that game.
I know, yeah. There's a lot of currencies. It's like that's kind of a hassle
Yeah.
too. I think it is on the focus tree, but it might they might actually be projects now that you
Okay.
mention it.
Okay. In the game's defense, I haven't actually gone to meet any of the 3-story characters yet because
Mm.
I've just been screwing around looking for stuff. So
Okay.
I don't know if the game gets more interesting after that, but probably not.
I mean, when you open up the projects tree and start actually getting the shit on it, like that stuff helps
Yeah.
make it more lively, but it's not enough. At the end of the day, like nothing that game is doing is enough.
Yeah, it sounds like
to
the
cross
kind of
the gap. you
general
know?
theme of Rage
Yeah.
2 is
Yeah.
not enough there.
Yeah.
But again, I don't dislike.
Yeah,
it.
it's not
Yeah.
a
It's
not
not.
a bad
It's certainly
game.
not a bad game.
It's just
but
not.
it's just like here's this kind of like middling to okay shooter.
It's a cliche, but maybe it's one of those games that if you see it for somewhat of a discount down the
Yeah.
line, and it sounds like they're adding a
Yeah.
bunch of free content, which
Yeah.
is going to make that even more valuable.
You could do worse than Rage 2.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, there you have it.
Yeah.
You'll play anything else?
Yeah.
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 I got that Oculus Quest.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Which is out today.
Okay. I thought it was out already for some reason.
No. So the Quest is their next. So the Rift S is also out today.
Okay, wait, hang on. What was the previous self-contained headset?
Oculus Go.
That's what I was mixing it up
And
with.
so the
Okay.
Oculus Go is the previous self-contained headset they did. It
Right.
was a lower quality experience, and
Yeah.
like it didn't track depth on the hand controllers, if I remember correctly. So it wasn't like a full experience.
Right.
This is.
Okay. This is basically, I mean, graphics aside, this is basically the same thing that a Rift would do, tracking-wise.
It's inside-out tracking.
Right.
So
You played the same types of games, though.
Yes,
is what I mean.
exactly. Yes, it is room scale VR.
Okay.
It is
All in a headset.
all in a headset and 2 controllers, 0
You
wires.
could play it in your kitchen
Yep,
if you wanted to.
Play it outside.
Yep.
Play it outside.
I've been playing it in my living room,
You could play it in a parking lot.
which revealed a thing of like, hey, if you have a cat that likes to fucking stand on your feet or attack your feet,
Ooh.
VR is a really fucked up situation
Yeah.
because you might accidentally step on them.
Just put the
and
cat
I've
in VR
narrowly
too.
avoided hurting my cat multiple times trying to play Quest games.
Put the cat in a VR helmet, put the cat in a tub,
Yep.
and there you go.
Yeah.
They launched any new games with this thing, or is it all existing Oculus stuff?
There's new games. There are new games. Most of the stuff I've played so far has been existing stuff, but like Dance Central is out today.
Oh, cool.
Weird. I
And
didn't know that was happening.
yeah.
Huh.
Vader Immortal is out
Oh,
today,
yeah, I remember.
which is the Star Wars Vader Immortal Episode 1, or Vader Immortal, a Star Wars VR experience, I think is the full name of that thing. And this is
Okay.
Episode 1 of a 3-episode arc.
Do you know what it is? Is it just first-person lightsaber nonsense?
So I played mostly the
just
training
Beat Saber.
room that is like it's like a storytelling. Like I think the main mode in that is less of a game and
Oh.
more of like a narrative experience
Huh.
sort of thing of like you walking around.
An
these-
interactivity.
yeah, it's an interactivity, but it also does have the fucking lightsaber droid training, tiny balls flying
Oh,
around
sure.
stuff from the Star Wars.
Who made that?
ILM.
Oh, okay. Because wasn't it Valve? Somebody was showing off an ILM tech demo that was Star Wars 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Okay.
This is a different thing. So I played the kind of just arena
hits?
lightsaber mode.
Oh, so did you play like super hot?
Yes,
VR?
and then I played like through most of Super Hot
Job
VR.
Simulator?
That is available.
Beat Saber.
Vacation Simulator not currently available, but I assume it would come. Beat Saber is there.
All the hits. Space
Space
Pirate Trainer
is there.
Okay.
Yes. And
they work?
Yes.
Like they're good?
So that was kind of like my interests, at least early on. So, like Vader Immortal, I didn't have access to that until late last night. So like some of the like launch games like just came in a little hot or did not appear on the store until the thing was basically out. So when I got it and got it all activated and stuff, it was mostly like, hey, here's Super Hot VR and here's some of this other stuff. But there's like 5 or 6 games that are, I think, exclusive to the Rift and Quest, or in some cases maybe even just the Quest. But I think Dance Central's on both, and Journey of the Gods I think is going to be available on both. Anyway, but I was mostly interested in like, hey, let's take a game I'm familiar with and play it on this thing and see how it compares.
No strings attached.
Yeah, and that shit works. Like you can play some Space Pirate Trainer. Like I played through most of Super Hot VR again. I was like, this is a fantastic game. I love Super Hot VR, and so it was a pleasure to play it again because it's been a while. And yeah, the convenience of using the Quest, I think is a really big deal. I think it's a really big deal.
Yeah.
When you think about VR and the ease of use and the ease of getting someone into it, like kind of up to this point, I think the PlayStation VR has kind of been the go-to. Because, hey, just hook this up to a console. It's not a PC. Just nothing to configure. Just plug all this shit in. It is reasonably priced for the headset, assuming you already have a PlayStation 4 and so on and so forth. And yeah. And
that's always been the thing with new tech like this, right? Like good enough is fine for the mass market if the barrier to entry and the convenience are there.
Right.
Like if it's cheap enough to get in and easy and nice enough to use.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the best looking headset on the market.
Exactly. And I think that's what they're hitting with the Quest is like, here's this thing. It is $399. All in. Yeah. Done. Like and
except for games,
which are still seem expensive. That's the kind of stumbling point of like, that I think the market and game prices are weird and VR stuff seems expensive for things like Super Hot is 25 or 30. It's up there, but like that's a game I think is really incredible.
Yeah.
And super worth playing. So I would be happy to pay that price, but I wouldn't pay it a second time to get it on the Quest. And there are some games that are cross-buy between the Rift, the Rift store.
Was.
No.
Oh, wait.
That is a developer opt-in between Rift and Quest. So Super Hot is not. Beat Saber is not.
That's a shame.
But I mean, if you're somebody like me who I've never... Well, for a while it was I didn't have the computer that can handle VR. I didn't have this, that, and the other thing. This sounds like the first one.
This is a gift you can give to someone and you're done.
Yeah,
and you don't have to go like, oh, do you have a PlayStation or do you have this? Or
you got to set these things up in your room.
Put these up in their USB, so get some extension.
Do you have at least a 1070 in your computer?
Right. So this is just like, hey, here's this thing. You're good to go to have like solid VR experiences. Is it going to look as good as if you had a fucking Valve Index or a Rift S or whatever hooked up to a PC? Like, no. But it's not about that.
Yeah,
and
it's about
a lot of these games aren't
it.
pushing hardware, to those extremes anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that this is like a totally like these games look absolutely acceptable. They look on par with the stuff you're seeing on PSVR, like roughly in that range. I didn't do 1-to-1 comparisons or anything, but it's. And you're getting like much better controllers than the Move ever could possibly be.
Sure.
Really good tracking.
Do you have any idea about the battery life?
I don't. I don't. It's got a USB-C port on the side for charging, and the hand controllers take 1 AA each.
Okay.
Oh.
So but I don't know about battery life. But like it is very easy. Like you put it on, it's got cameras that turn on and show you the world around you, and it says like, hey, is this the ground? Basically like draws a grid, and it's like, if it's not the ground, there's an easy process of like, okay, that's not the ground. It says, okay, well, show us the ground. You take a controller, you lower it to the ground, it says cool. Then it says, all right, draw a circle around you that you're going to play in. And so you just point out because you know the cameras are turned on. You draw your guardian boundary, and then it's like, all right, cool, you're done. Or you hit like, hey, I'm not in a place where I can do that, and it'll put the boundary like around you very tight.
Yeah.
For like standing or seated experiences. So if you're like sitting at a desk or something and playing those types of games, you still do that in the setup process and say, hey, I'm just sitting here. It's cool. And then you're good to go. It like loads you into the front end and you're set. And it's highly convenient to just like put it on and do a thing. Which that's kind of it's like fucking crazy because you think about like the barriers to VR. If you told people 7 years ago, like, hey, VR is going to be here, people would be like, you know, this is like that early quote. I think it was Chet Falzak that said like in the early days when they were showing off the Vive and the question was asked of like, hey, doesn't this take up like most of a room? Like I think it was him, but like the response was like, we find that when people put on the headset, they find room to do this in because it's that good. You know, it was the implication there was that it's that good. And I think the reality of it turned out to be no. Like a lot of people are like, you know, I hadn't used my Rift in months because like that room filled up with stuff because I was doing other things and had other projects going and
you need your USB ports.
Yeah, that too. And so like using a Rift became a hassle. The idea of getting a Vive and putting lighthouses up in this space that is not quite big enough for room scale anyway, it's just not even an option. So at some point, just like VR just gets out of reach from like a practicality, the social aspect of shutting yourself off from the world, like all these barriers are
tripping over the
real.
course.
Yeah, the things that you would you know before you try VR, before you get into it, the things you think like, well, whatever, it's fucking VR. Right. We're here. It happened. It works. Like turned out to be like deal breakers for me and a lot of other people. So this ends up solving a lot of that stuff and also. It has built-in speakers. You can plug in, you know, if you want like proper audio, you want to plug in headphones and cover your damn ears. But it also has speakers that leave your ears totally open in a way that lets you kind of have conversations with people and not be as cut off from the world, which actually is kind of cool. Like the quality of the speakers is not amazing. But for that specific scenario of just like, hey, at some point I might need to do something or talk to somebody or hear a phone ringing or, you know, like.
I know personally, I haven't had a ton of VR experience, but every time I've like come out of it, I'm just so disoriented because you have the headset on, you have earphones on, you have all this stuff. And that seems like a nice way to kind of like easier way. Like
if you want to be halfway in because you have a life to lead, you can do that. And the Quest allows for that in a way.
Cat running around like an asshole that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
I guess my biggest question is if there's any way to hook this thing up to a PC. Like, is there any way to sideload stuff onto this?
You can sideload stuff onto it.
Okay, because there's like tons of
developer
homebrew
mode and some other stuff.
Yeah, because there's like, I mean, this may not be the most thrilling example, but there's a bunch of like Doom 3 source port VR work going on.
Right.
To make like cool VR versions of that game. You know, there's stuff like that you would not get out of the Oculus store.
Right. But also I don't know if any of that stuff's been ported to ARM, you know, like whatever this this is not a PC.
Oh, sure.
So it's not, you know,
if it's ARM based, that.
I don't know what the innards
but
are,
assuming
the
work was done, you could get the stuff on there.
Okay. I believe so.
Okay.
I believe that if you turn on developer mode and stuff, there is a way. People were so I got a hold of this. I attended an event last week that Oculus was putting on, and they were like, okay, here's a Quest for review stuff. And then I was like, well, I'm back in my hotel room. I'm gonna put this thing on, and then started putting it all on. And then it's like, all right, now load up the Oculus app and enter this code that you see on your display to link it all up and get it started. And it would not go past that. But the app hadn't been like when I load up the app, it's like, what do you want to set up, a Rift or a Go? And so you couldn't even set up a Quest. You know, it only came out today, so that's not a problem. It's to be expected, but it was that situation. I was like, oh man, I can't do anything until this is hit or until they've whitelisted me.
Yeah, that's why I was asking,
because
because otherwise you're just trapped in their walled garden.
I'm pretty sure that there is so I guess like people were solving some of that stuff or activating them early via some kind of developer-y, backdoory kind of sideloady sort of thing.
Probably safe to assume that Steam VR is a no-go, though.
I don't
like you know, obviously on a Rift you can get Steam VR stuff working,
right? But
this is probably too different.
This doesn't connect to a PC. Well, I mean, it does have a USB port on it, so who knows? Like, if someone could cook up a way to get that to go, like maybe it's possible, but I don't think so. That's not a supported use case anyway.
That's what I mean. Just for the time being, you're kind of limited to what they offer you through their official channels.
Yeah, more or less. And then you can stream out of it. It has like a one-touch like live stream to Facebook button, and then also there's a way to beam the signal out to your phone, out to that Oculus app. And I want to say it also works. We're going to try it.
Yeah.
I think it will work with a Chromecast. I found my old Chromecast and could not get it working at all.
Okay.
And so then I went into my phone and then served my phone up to my PC with Air Server.
Okay.
And got a very low frame rate that we would probably not find suitable for
We'll
streaming.
figure something out.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
But
I'm just gonna film it on my phone. Like put my phone in front of your eyes in the VR thing.
Yeah, that's a good call.
We gotta get like 2
I'll get
GoPros
a
in
Google
there.
Glass. I'll wear my Snapchat glasses.
There we go.
Yeah.
Those are Gen 1 though.
Fuck.
You're gonna need to get Gen 2 Snapchat glasses.
You're right. I am.
Every year you come back with something for your eyes.
Yeah.
Last year wasn't it the Snapchat glasses?
If not last year, there's the year before. But yeah. And this year, Oculus Quest.
They should have those Snapchat glasses that do the like baby and gender swap filter built in, so you can just look at people and see.
That's a great
them
idea.
all as babies. Think about it.
Naked too.
Okay.
But not the babies. You can't turn on both filters at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Oculus Quest better than those Snapchat glasses.
I saw one of those vending machines. I was so close to buying it.
It's real dumb. It's real dumb. But I think the Quest is like a really great step for, just here's an easy to understand, easy to wrap your head around VR like solution. It's relatively inexpensive compared to like the Index and some of this other stuff. Like the requirements both on like what other hardware do you need to have and all other stuff is they've pushed that out of the way. And so it's not going to be the most high-end VR experience available. That's still going to be something that's tethered to a PC. But we're there's still plenty of room for like a affordable, like good enough solution for people. And I think this is better than good enough in a lot of cases. Like the tracking is really good. They've redesigned their touch controllers. I think they feel really nice. It's a hell of a device.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Good for them. Any other games?
I've been mostly plugging away at some stuff I can't talk about, but other than that, playing a lot more Mordhau. I talked about that pretty in depth last week, but just playing it more and more, it really feels like playing a game straight out of 2007, man. It's a $30 multiplayer focused game with literally no microtransactions, loot boxes, anything like that, and it's so refreshing. I tried thinking of the last multiplayer focused game that I played that didn't have a microtransaction, and I just completely couldn't think of one. And it goes to show that like that's kind of I now kind of get why so many people were mad at when Randy Pitchford came out there and was just like, no microtransactions, but that really means loot boxes. But like, this is actually a game without that, and you feel it.
Based on my arbitrary, narrow definition of what microtransactions are, we don't have any.
But like it shows that like they've just become synonymous with multiplayer games. Like, it's like,
even Rage 2 is a completely single player game, and even it has
like God of War, Red Dead. There's a lot
God of War have stuff.
I think God of War even had like a little like.
Could you buy Hacksilver or something?
You could buy. I remember I brought it up during Game of the Year. I was like, this didn't have microtransactions. Somebody else had an example of how it did. But it's really fun, and it's cool to seeing like, oh, what did I unlock with my levels? Like, what did I unlock by spending time with the game? Oh, I got a new handle for my Halberd, or I got a new, tint of armor from my Curious and what have you. And it's rewarding to play a game that rewards you for playing it, not for wanting to spend more money, not by like tricking you to try and play it more. So you're unlocking your daily challenge and all this other stuff. It like feels good because the game is there. It's just like, hey, if you like this game, put more time into it and you'll unlock more stuff. And it's frankly just very refreshing.
I think that's like, like Call of Duty kind of splits the difference on that, where like anything you're unlocking by playing it is the gameplay relevant stuff. And then if you want to look like some kind of neon asshole, they have that option for you.
Yeah, and even games like Overwatch, it's just like the only thing is skins, and you know, it's just like.
But like Overwatch has no like meaningful gameplay progression by playing it.
No,
you know? It's not like you. Well, I guess you can grind out the skins.
Yeah.
Right. But
yeah.
But yeah.
It's like it's really kind of eye opening how much
do you find yourself like going like, man, it's like it feels. Does it ever feel like it's missing something because everyone's become so conditioned to like, hey, it seems like it could have more skins.
I definitely have moments where I like see somebody with like really cool late game armor because like everything you unlock is unlocked behind levels.
Yeah.
Your player level, and so I'll see like a dude with really cool armor, and I'd be like, man, if right now just there was a pop up that's like 99 cents, you get that armor, I'd still kind of be tempted. And it's like hitting those parts of my brain that's just like when I like go to Vegas for something and I walk by a slot machine, it's like, I can drop a
Wheel of Fortune.
Penny? It's a penny to play? A nickel? Hell yeah. Yeah, that game is great. I'm slowly working my way through the 17,000 word advanced combat tutorial guide on their
going into that game blind on that stream last week was a lot.
Yeah,
that was foolhardy.
It was, but like even we managed to have some good times. Like you know, there's always something you can be doing that in that game, even if you're not good at the combat. Whether it's playing the objective, whether it's like helping a dude on the battlefield 2v1 a guy, just like being there and kind of poking at a guy while somebody who knows what they're doing is actually trying to fight the guy. You can add to the experience.
Hanging out in the back line and hitting the scream button over and over, you know, just providing moral support.
Yeah.
What is the sword play? So is it like 1-to-1? Do you like hold down a button and then move the mouse around to move your sword, or is it like here's an attack button and here's a heavy attack button? Like what do you?
You've got a stab and a swing are your two kind of main things, and the stab is fairly straightforward. You just kind of stab in whatever direction.
Yeah. Is there any variation on that?
You can like feint, you know, and you can morph an attack. You can start as a stab, and then go into a swing.
Okay.
But that's pretty much it. And then the swing is a little more complicated. It's kind of so the direction it goes in is based on what direction you were last like moving your mouse wheel. So if you move left to right, it's a left to right.
So your reticle has an indicator showing which way you're moving the mouse.
Okay.
So basically you attack in the middle of that movement, right? And that's the direction that you'll swing.
Got it.
And then as you start to swing, and I actually found out you can like straight up turn on hitboxes, like a fighting game. You can, and it shows like these red lines indicate where your sword is hitting, and these green lines indicate where like an attack would bounce off of it, and the blue lines indicate your hands and stuff like that. But like as you start to swing, you can kind of like tilt your body, you know, and that's going to affect like the timing basically of the swing, because there's not really a block, there's a parry.
Right. Yeah.
So like if I'm you know, facing like back and to the left and I swing, it's going to take longer for that sword to get there than if I was facing like straight forward. And so that's kind of how you switch up your like, so it's not just like two dudes
swing, you're just like going to lean a little bit to make it take like just kind of stutter it just enough to get through a parry.
Or like tilt up, and so you like aim for their head, or tilt down so you aim for their feet.
That's cool.
And stuff like that. Yeah, it's got some serious depth. When you go up against somebody who like is level 25 or something like that, there'll be times where I just can't hit him. He will deflect literally every one of my attacks, and then just there's a class you can play as a peasant. That's kind of like the joke class, and you only get weapons or items that a peasant would have. So it's stuff like rocks you can throw. There's like gardening equipment like a pitchfork, a scythe, and stuff like that. And there was just this there's a really cool feature in the game where if somebody kills you, it shows like your matchup against them. So it's like they've killed you 4 times and you've killed them once. I got 8-0'd by this dude playing as a villager who was just throwing rocks, and then if you got in range, he had a stick, a club, like literally just a big stick, and just deflecting my attacks and then hitting me for like 8 damage at a time. Oh god, it was embarrassing, but it was like really cool.
That's cool that like people can get to
This dude's really good at this game. Yeah, so Mordhau, $30. It's like the developers are still supporting it. They're actively patching it. I'm excited to see kind of what they do, because that's the other part of this whole no microtransactions thing is like it's also it's still a live game, right? It's still something that they're patching, and there's this expectation from players that they're going to be balancing it, and I don't know, maybe they're going to be adding more content and stuff like that. And how do they, you know, if you can't buy upgrades, what does that mean for the team that's working on this game after people aren't buying it so much? So it's really interesting to see like what a game like this, how it survives in the ecosystem, how it kind of maintains that player base.
Yeah, where they do like a paid expansion or something.
Because that's what Chivalry did. They had like a Deadliest Warrior DLC that was like $20 and added the Deadliest Warriors to the game.
Right. Cable TV tie-ins.
Yeah.
Definitely a healthy
Maybe there'll be what is it? Knife or Death? What's the knife reality show?
I think that's it. Yeah.
We'll have a Knife or Death tie-in.
That's not a bad name for a
no
knife-based reality show.
Unlockable, just Tom Odell skin.
All right.
Cocobolo handles for all your knives.
We should probably take a break now.
Right.
After
think
that.
about knives.
Yeah. As always, let's go think about knives.
When you're young, getting a credit card can be impossible because you don't have a credit history. Now, you're a little bit older and maybe you build up some credit, but you're still going to get dinged with late payment fees, annual fees, foreign transaction fees, and high interest rates. But have you ever heard of a credit card company that actually helps you avoid paying those fees and unexpected interest charges? Well, you're about to, and it'll completely change the way you think about credit cards. This new company is called Petal. Petal uses advanced technology and partners with WebBank member FDIC to provide access to a Visa credit card along with a simple, modern mobile app. Petal's cashback grows with you. Earn 1% cashback right away and up to 1.5% cashback when you make 12 on-time payments. And when Petal says no fees, they mean it. No annual fees, late payment fees, foreign transaction fees, or any other kind of fees. Petal suggests you pay in full each month so you avoid interest charges entirely. You can also set up auto pay so you never forget to make a payment. As of today, their variable APRs range from 15.24% to 26.24%. It's about time a credit card company helped you succeed financially. Check out the Petal credit card. It's a smarter credit card for the modern world. Go to petalcard.com/bombcast today to find out more. That's Petal with a T. Petal. PETAL card.com/bombcast. Support for today's show comes to you in part from new Starbucks Triple Shot Energy. Starbucks Triple Shot Energy has 225 milligrams of caffeine from Starbucks coffee, a hint of flavor, and enhanced with guarana, B vitamins, and ginseng for the energy to do what matters to you. And it's available in 3 delicious flavors, including French vanilla, cafe mocha, and caramel. You know, sometimes your energy's just spent, but there's more you got to do. Why not turn to Starbucks Triple Shot Energy for that? A little boost, you know, get that second wave going. And get into the stuff that you need to get into or the stuff that you want to get into. You know, hey, you get home from work, you want to do a little something extra. Why not get into Starbucks Triple Shot Energy, huh? You can find it at your local grocery or convenience store. That's Starbucks Triple Shot Energy.
All right, there's one more game I wanted to talk about, and I'm not sure if the statute of limitations is up yet.
Nonsense.
But I was very sad that I could not make it for the Mortal Kombat 11 spoiler cast.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do we feel about issuing a broad and deep spoiler warning?
Oh,
and then taking like 5 minutes.
Five spoiler-filled minutes.
Let's say 5-ish minutes,
We're
probably.
watching the clock. Skip forward exactly that amount. If you're worried about the deep, deep lore of MK11 being ruined for you.
Specifically the ending of Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah? All right. This is it.
3, 2. Okay. I will say up front, I think it's probably the best story mode ever made in a fighting game.
Yes.
Like, it's incredible.
Agreed. Yeah. Hands down.
I don't love the way that got to the ending and where they left things.
I love where they leave things.
Honestly, which ending did you get, Brad?
There's only one ending. Like, I know people talk like it's, you know, which round,
like the canonical,
which round you beat her in kind of determines what the background looks like and stuff.
But well, I mean, there's a character difference also.
Who's there? In the
I listened to you guys spoiler cast, and I'm pretty sure it plays out the same way no matter what.
Well, like, you don't get katana if you lose a round.
No, you totally do.
I did.
That's exactly what I disagreed with in that spoiler cast. Because I lost a round. I beat Chronica on the asteroid.
Well, there must be some other difference then,
And
because
Katana-
there's definitely a version of that where it's like, oh, time has already been unwound too far for us to do the katana thing, so I'm here with you. I'm ready.
No, I got both
you
of
know
those
what? We
things.
lost, and then I think I won.
That's what I'm saying. I got both of
But
those
I think
things.
that's the thing. You either get both of those things or you get one of those things.
I got Human Raiden, I got Katana showing up at the end, and I got like, oh, Chronica succeeded. Everything's undone. Like I got all of those
That
in the
was
same
my
ending.
ending too.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm pretty sure it's just the ending.
All right.
I
Well,
saw
whatever.
a bunch of stuff
What
floating around.
What didn't you like about getting
I
there?
think I don't think they build up to it in the right way to make that ending work.
Okay.
I think there was too much good going on before that happened. There were too many triumphs along the way to the point that when they wiped it all away, it was disappointing that, like, for example, like Katana becoming Empress of Outworld. I was like, fuck yeah, she finally beat the shit out of that asshole who killed her father and took over her homeland.
Yeah.
Like, she got what was coming to her. And then at the end, I was like, oh, wait a minute, none of that mattered because Outworld doesn't exist anymore.
Like Kotal goes through a really deep thing of like losing his title and like, you know, almost dying and having a really deep conflict, and then that just kind of gets wiped.
Right.
Well, keep in mind that like this whole thing is a separate timeline from the other six.
But I'm
8
talking
games
about
that came
the
before
talking
it.
about
Like,
the emotional beats that they build up to
Yeah.
this with. You know, like they vanquish Geras in a really cool way. Like all the Fire God stuff is cool. Like there's this triumphant assault on the final stronghold among like every faction in the universe. You know,
right.
Jan, who's the Naruto guy that they killed the same way? Who's the bad guy in Naruto who like can't die?
Orochimaru.
No, wait, that's the snake guy,
The
right?
snake guy, yeah.
No, who's the like he's a part of the black.
Toby.
No, the chess guy kills him because he killed. They
What
put him
does
in a
his face
hole in
look
the
like?
forest. He just looks like a guy.
Is he the puppet guy? The clay doll guy.
Yeah. Never mind. They stole a Naruto thing from Mortal Kombat. I think it's really cool.
wait a minute, are you saying Mortal Kombat drew on pop culture in a very overt way?
What death in Mortal Kombat?
Geras, when he gets Geras can't die, so they like knock him in a thing and like
Yeah.
he falls forever. They bury that guy in the forest who can't die. Like, his whole thing is he can't die. Chat's
that
probably
guy?
going crazy. They know what's up.
Hidan.
Yeah.
I don't remember what that guy looks like.
See, like
Continue.
in the sequence of events that I wanted to see building up to this ending, like Geras is unstoppable. Like he's
Right.
about to
that
fuck
guy.
everything up. Like your allies have fallen one by one.
Yeah.
Basically, like the way that ending would have worked for me is if it was a series of escalating tragedies
Sure.
until Liu Kang is the last man standing, and if he doesn't succeed, then everything is completely fucked.
But that is kind of
Like
I mean,
they just wiped away too many things that I enjoyed.
it isn't
you know what
until
I mean?
they get on the boats that like good things start happening for them.
Well, the Katana stuff happens before that. Like she wins in Outworld.
that feels
and, like,
inconsequential.
they're-
Like she wins, but it's like that doesn't matter in the grand conflict.
it matters
It's
for
just-
her,
it
like,
matters for her,
tremendously.
but like
Like,
for the
that's-
stuff that's happening, like that's just like, oh, cool. All right, well, we're still fucked. So you come with us.
Also think about this: what Liu Kang has seen, like the triumphs and the downtrodden moments that kind of he witnesses, are all going to be kind of how he steers the ship from now on, right? So like you could kind of say that like all of their gains and stuff are a means for Liu Kang to become a better ruler.
I guess.
Like that's a kind of a ham-fisted way to approach it, but like, you know, he's still like that is the constant, right? Liu Kang still knows everything that happened,
Sure.
and kind of he will kind of.
I think we're out of
use
our
that.
we're exiting our 5 minute window.
I think the way for that to work, the emotional release that you get out of that ending should have come from like everything being on the line and nothing being good, basically.
Yeah.
Like there were too many things that I enjoyed about the way things were going that they then just fucking shoved off the table.
I just love it as a means to say like, hey, like we get to rebuild this next time.
Yeah,
because it needs it.
The other thing is I don't have any faith in them to actually do anything very different
This is
at all. We'll see.
They've
I
proven
mean,
over
nine
the
was
run
them
of
kind of showing they could do it different.
Well, 9 was just a soft reboot of what had already happened.
yeah,
you know?
but like 5, 6, and
Like-
7 are so dramatically different from everything that came. Not necessarily in a good way, but like you
Yeah.
know, like they have it more than other fighting games have established that they will fucking throw it all out and burn it down.
I'm worried that this is just giving them license to start the whole thing over again.
That's cool too.
I guess.
But like if they started over again in a totally different way,
Well,
right?
I mean, like tournament on an island with Sub-Zero and Scorpion there.
Sure. Okay, sounds good.
Like,
yeah, I'm in.
I feel like that's just kind of a wasted opportunity for them to go this far only to do that again.
I think I'm talking about it from more of a gameplay perspective.
Sure.
Of like, it's time for them to part with some of their systems and style and feel, and kind of roll the dice again.
Yeah. I felt like that ending had a very uneven build to it, and didn't quite get the catharsis that I wanted based on what had been happening. But
all right,
it's still a pretty damn good story. All right, news.
Whose
news?
These news.
Whose clues? Don't lose the news.
Huey Lewis did.
Did he?
I think he's just Huey Lewis now.
Really?
Where's the news?
He lost them. If I knew, I would just tell him.
Welcome to the official Huey Lewis and the News website.
Oh, is he still repping the news?
That's what it says.
That's good, because I had heard...
Is that them? I guess that's
that
them.
has to be the news.
That looks like the news.
Oh, they're all wearing sunglasses, and they're all 80.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Okay, some of them are 70.
They're like early 60s, probably.
There's the one guy who wore the sunglasses back then who like looked like he was like 80 then.
They're all wearing sunglasses in this picture.
Well, sunglasses are very cool, and they're very cool.
Yeah.
They're very cool if you're like old too, because you can just like they make you look like cool inherently.
Sunglasses,
you know?
or okay, yeah, oh yeah,
because
definitely.
like an old guy with sunglasses.
You're like, that guy. Whoa, that guy.
What has he seen?
What's up, cool grandpa? What are you doing?
Huey Lewis
and he
is
just shows
wearing
up and goes ska.
Huey Lewis is wearing more like tinted reading glasses, though. You can still see his eyes.
But
the glasses are like tinted blue.
The eyes are the window to the soul, and he is the soul of the band. So
exactly, and the heart of rock and roll also, and also the entire band is stoned as fuck.
Sports.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last week on Microsoft's corporate news blog, an entry went up with this headline: Sony and Microsoft to explore strategic partnership.
Hey, you guys like video games?
Yeah.
How about you guys?
It's the kind of headline that tends to get the attention of people who are interested in the games business.
But what kind of partnership, Brad?
It turned out to primarily be a cloud computing Sony is basically signing up to use Microsoft's Azure for all of their kind of future streaming, and they're throwing around terms like AI and all kinds of stuff. Cloud computing, edge computing. It's very jargony. They're even saying exploring collaborations in the areas of semiconductors and AI. So this is super high level stuff. This is not,
They performed the ritual and agreed to the memorandum of understanding.
Yes, the memorandum of understanding is mentioned multiple times in this entry. It's not like, this is not the Xbox streaming app coming to PS4 or anything like that.
No, but it is like...
But it's still wild.
Sony coming up with a solution to like, hey, this cloud stuff seems like a big deal.
Yeah,
they don't necessarily have an infrastructure in place to do it themselves.
We can't be caught. What's the term? With their pants down? Is that what we're looking for here?
I guess so.
But yeah, they need a solution, and it's like pretty much Microsoft or Amazon.
And Microsoft said, "You'll give us how much money?"
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Amazon is the biggest cloud computing provider in the world, and Microsoft is the second biggest.
Yeah, and then Google is up there.
Google's somewhere in the list.
Yeah,
they're actually not as high as you would think. The last time I looked at a ranking, I think they're in. They're somewhere around like 6 or 7. I think.
Okay,
I'm number 8.
Nice.
Wow, that's impressive.
I got a really big computer.
Tell me about your Tell me about your edge presence.
I'll build up to it, but I never get there.
Okay,
smart.
Yeah. I don't know what prompted them to go with Microsoft over, say, Amazon.
At some point, that's just like business terms.
I guess
or some
so.
kind of, or whatever, right? That's what deal you're going to do, the better deal.
I guess so. I mean, Microsoft has gaming experience that Amazon does not, right?
And also, this is Sony, like not the PlayStation. This is like Sony asked Sony.
Yes. This happened above the PlayStation division from the sound of things in terms of the negotiations.
Yeah.
It does make you wonder, though. I mean, these consoles feel more and more the same every generation.
Right.
Yes.
At this point, like AMD is providing the hardware for both of them, and they're probably more likely to be even more similar this time than ever before. So it does kind of make you wonder at some point. Like,
it just comes down to decisions around like, how far do you want to go for the price, or how much, where do you want to position it? Like, do you want to spend that cost on an SSD, or what are you doing?
Yeah. But Yeah, this seems like it could potentially open the door to some wild stuff in the future. A story came out on Bloomberg the day, like 3 days after that announcement was made, that it took a good number of people in the PlayStation division by surprise.
Yeah.
We're doing what now? With
Yeah.
who?
Hang on.
Do you know those guys are like
They make that. They make that other thing.
Yeah.
Negotiations with Microsoft began last year and were handled directly by Sony's senior management in Tokyo, largely without the involvement of the PlayStation unit. Staff at the gaming division were caught off guard by the news. Managers had to calm workers and assure them that plans for the company's next generation console weren't affected. So,
Yeah, I mean, this just means like what servers, if they do go into the streaming business, what servers are they using?
Yeah.
Probably Microsoft's due to the memorandum of understanding.
yes, right. The thing is binding and all powerful.
That's right.
Yeah.
Benevolent? Who can say?
That
It's a
remains to be
memorandum
seen.
of understanding.
I mean, whatever. This Bloomberg story has, quotes from analysts saying like, it's good for Sony in the short term, but long term, that means they will be paying money directly to their
Right.
competitor.
This is like when Eazy-E was making money off of Dr. Dre's
Exactly.
albums,
Yeah.
if you think about it.
Totally. Or, they give examples like how, like Netflix competes with Amazon Prime's video, but also has to pay Amazon to serve their own video.
Yeah.
Or like Apple competes with Samsung phones, even though they have to buy all their displays from Samsung.
Yeah. It's not unheard of in the tech
like that.
business. It's just, and plenty of businesses do it.
Yeah. But it's certainly better than Sony not having any solution for that stuff at all.
Right. And it doesn't even necessarily mean that they're going to go hard on that stuff.
Yeah.
It just puts them in a position like, hey, if the wind's blowing that way, we've got an answer.
Yeah. Sony's been doing some investor relations stuff in Japan the last day or two. Video of those PS5 Spider-Man demos has gotten out there.
Yeah.
That they showed to Wired. I mean, it's pretty much exactly what Wired described. Nothing super surprising there, but it's still cool to see it in action. They've got a little timer on this stuff.
Yeah, it's like zipping through kind of the open world of Spider-Man.
Yeah, they do that one where they basically... It's cool because they try to fly at the super speed in the PS4 version, and then it hitches, like that you can see how far it can go
every
before
like
it has
10
to,
blocks or something.
Like
you just
load.
run into an invisible wall and wait for it to load, and then they do the same thing on the PS5 dev kit, and they're just like flying across the entire city at ridiculous speed. They also do the thing where they show it loading in different parts of the city in like less than a second.
SSDs, they're fancy.
Yeah.
They've been fancy.
Well, but even an SSD on a PC
no,
couldn't do
you're-
stuff like this
yeah,
before. Like,
yeah.
This is specifically designed around knowing that you have access to stuff like that. Yeah, it's cool to see that stuff, but it's pretty much exactly what was described. They put a bunch of slides out and stuff about backwards compatibility and
No real detail, just
just kind of
confirming that they're doing it,
reiterating the same stuff that was in that Wired story. I guess PlayStation streaming is their kind of umbrella term now.
That's for like remote play and for PlayStation Now, right?
Yeah, like all of their streaming stuff goes under that extremely catchy name.
You know what it is when they say it. You're like, oh, streaming.
Sure,
Okay, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's watch Spider-Man, the movie. We can stream that, right?
They plan to increase CAGR to over 50%, in case
Holy
you're wondering.
shit.
50?
Yeah.
CAGR over 50%.
I don't know what that means. I'm sure it's some financial
Computers.
Changing the game. Computer and games revenue.
thing. Okay, maybe. I don't know.
No.
It's a bunch
Computer
of...
and graphic ratings.
They put out a PDF. There's a bunch of slides in it if you want to hear about cost management. If you were wondering whether PlayStation View would negatively impact their P&L from fiscal year 20 onward,
I
can tell you that it will not.
Hey, I told you. I fucking told you.
Fuck that
Jeff.
shit. They got something to hide.
If you're really curious about Sony's deep business plans, that stuff is out there for you.
Yeah.
I didn't pull the story. I read over it, but they're also establishing a kind of movie and TV production wing in the PlayStation group.
Okay.
Called
Is this like
PlayStation Productions.
Is this like a liaison for like,
Yeah.
hey, if you want to make a God of
Yes,
War movie,
yes,
where
it
this is the
sounds-
people you talk
Didn't
to?
Xbox have something like that?
Well, they had a full-on TV studio.
That's
and
right.
all
They
this
were
other
producing
shit.
their own
Like,
stuff. That's right.
Yeah.
They shut that down.
Yeah, Hollywood Reporter describes it as a unit to adapt games for film and TV.
So maybe that's like they handle the scripts and
Yeah.
or maybe they bring in script writers and say, hey, here's what we bring in a screenwriter.
Here's
kind of what the WWE studios setup is, I think.
Just like something to give them more direct oversight over what their properties would look like.
It's like, we want to make a cop movie and we want it to star Kratos.
Okay.
That's it. That's the idea.
Who's Kratos' partner?
Parappa the Rapper.
Does he have the beard?
Yes, Parappa the Rapper has the beard.
His whole family died, and he's stranger in a strange land.
Yeah,
So Kratos is kind of like the Lenny Briscoe of this situation. Is that okay? Got it. Yeah, a lot of PlayStation stuff happening. Variety ran this big kind of deep expose of the ESA. Recently, which kind of dovetails with stuff we were doing E3 planning yesterday and looking at the show floor plan and drawing some conclusions.
Kind of figuring out what our coverage for the esports zone is going to be, how many days we're going to be there.
How big is the esports zone?
Bigger than big?
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah.
And it's right next to another zone or something that is like not a game company. Like there's kind of a lot more of that on the floor this year.
Was it news or was it known that Activision didn't have a booth this year?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, they've been out before. I think people are making that out to be a big deal.
But they've been back. They were back in.
They have been back in as of late.
Last year they were there with a big booth.
Right. But when the E3 went south last time, they were having their own thing and hey, come watch us hang out with Jamie Kennedy. And all that shit. We left the ESA, all that.
Well,
stuff.
Activision not having a booth isn't unprecedented, but it's when you combine it with the fact that Sony is not there and EA has been gone for years.
Right.
All of a sudden, the two biggest third-party publishers and one of the three hardware makers is now not on the EA or the E3 show floor,
right,
at all.
Yeah,
and that's kind of wild.
It's but not surprising.
No, certainly not.
I think when you look at this was something that was a topic of conversation a lot last week for me. It was a lot of people kind of not necessarily wringing their hands, but kind of just looking at stuff and going like, this doesn't feel like it's going to keep going this way. And this variety story, that Crescente put together is like connects a lot of dots for hey, why is the ESA weird and bad, and why is this loot box stuff? Why are they not taking a more forward position here? And then you look at it and go like, oh, it's been chaos for them.
Yeah, so half the story is about kind of internal politics at the ESA,
and the idea of just hey, is Reed, the company that owns PAX, going to come in and buy E3? And
there's a bunch of different components to the story. There's they ousted the head of the ESA late last year. A bunch of accusations of kind of shitty office politics and
witch hunts.
Yes, the phrase witch hunt is used. Infighting. A lot of, from the sound of it, political strife.
Because they hadn't named a successor, right?
Yeah, they had an interim guy.
They still have an interim
that became
leader.
The full-time guy the day after this story hit.
Weird.
Strange.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff is kind of ugly internal business, but the kind of more public-facing stuff that came out of this is that Crescente, I guess, got access to internal kind of survey data from the ESA showing that the public is not very receptive to their message these days.
Yeah.
Basically, that the public does not see the game industry and video games by and large as a positive for society.
Yeah. Well, I think they've let things get to a position, especially around the loot box stuff, where the people who are actively playing video games are now mistrustful of the video game industry.
Totally.
That's a fucking bad place to be.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that hey, if they were just out there lobbying and spreading the good message, then they could paper over all this. But no, it's about okay, what are let's establish firm policies about how this stuff works its way into games and be forthcoming the same way they were when they established all this stuff to begin with, when the government was mad about Mortal Kombat and Night Trap.
Right.
It was hey, let's form this body that can help regulate this stuff so that it's not the government coming in, understanding nothing about our business, and then just fucking shattering it apart with dumb legislation. And that's the approach they should have been able to take around loot boxes, is to go hey, wait a minute, you guys are scamming people.
Yeah.
We need to clean it up. You need to fucking take this thing back several notches to get this within range. And we need to police it ourselves and clean it up ourselves because it's a problem. Instead, they were whoops, we're on fire over here.
Yeah.
We're not equipped to do that because our president's getting ousted, interim this, and
also
and
loot boxes
E3
are
is going
fine.
through all this other changes, and it's all good.
Also, parental controls, just use them.
And we don't
You'll be
think it's a
fine.
problem.
Yeah,
and
totally.
and now the government is, you've got people trying to introduce legislation, and back at the time, I think we said like, hey, the last thing they want is for the government to do this, and I think some people were like, how could you say that? They're like, well, because the government doesn't know anything about video games, and they'll fuck it up.
Yeah,
They will overreach in a way that like will impact video games negatively.
Watch those, say what I don't think what Facebook is doing is great or anything, but if you watch those like Senate hearings where they're questioning Zuckerberg and just have no idea how anything tech-wise works, it's like, do you really want those people
you just
in
have
control?
Senator Tankerbell up there going like, y'all got them slot machines, and it is what it is.
Yes, we have those slot machines.
Right.
Or do you want an organization that
Because like, hey, we did the
self-govern?
studies. We found we agree. Maybe there was some overreach. We've pulled back to this level. We found a happy medium that works for more players and more consumers and better parental controls and finding the way to actually make this stuff responsible.
Remember when you guys thought video games were fun? We want to bring that back.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that has to be the end of microtransactions.
No.
That's never going to be the way. And blind box loot boxes are fucking dumb.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, on every hot button issue for the last few years, they have taken an aggressively pro-corporate stance, basically.
Yes.
And that's
from loot boxes to labor organizing, like they have,
and of course, like their constituency to a certain extent is like that's kind of what they want. But that runs risk of like, again, like the government coming in and saying, okay, actually, this is a problem. Fuck you, idiots, for not realizing this sooner, and now it's up to us to solve it for you. Right. And that's just not going to be good for games or the people that play them. Honestly, there may be some small victories around loot boxes and microtransactions that come out of a government intervention, but there's a better way. But the ESA was just not equipped to do it. Like reading the story, you see how it got to this point.
Yeah.
You see how E3 got to this point of just like, okay, we don't really know what this show is. Like publishers are maybe telling us like, the public kind of, we need to make this show more relevant. Maybe this is the way. And then just like ham-fistedly wandering into this public show thing in a way that now seems like it's just, kind of pushing even more companies out.
Yeah, so in addition to their failure to curry favor for the industry with the public, Crescente also talked to some dues-paying members of the organization who are corporations, of course,
right?
Big publishers. And it sounds like there's a lot of malcontent there as well. Yeah. Or a lot of frustration.
Distrust.
Yeah. They don't think, basically, the public doesn't think they're doing a good job of representing games as a medium in an industry, and their corporate constituency also, for different reasons, thinks that they're doing a bad job of representing their interests. And E3 is a big part of that, according to this. A lot of members don't think they know what they're doing with E3. They don't know what they as publishers should be doing with it.
Like
nobody seems to know.
E3 this year is running on inertia.
Yeah. Yes.
And
like it's basically spelled out in here that the feeling is that it needs to dramatically evolve, but that nobody at the ESA knows how that should take place.
And like, what does that evolution look like in a way that actually serves the major publishers? Because you think about it, like the true beneficiaries of E3 are that kind of like mid to high, let's say, because I think mid-tier kind of undersells like a company like Warner that doesn't have their own press conference per se. They're not necessarily, they don't necessarily have a big enough lineup to justify having their own press conference.
But they might have a big game.
But they might have a big game or two that they could put on someone else's stage, or that gets some shine by being at E3.
Like a new Rocksteady game is going to headline,
or like Tecmo Koei,
like the Xbox thing,
which I don't even know. I don't even know if they have a booth this year. Now that I think about it. A company the size of EA, the company the size of Activision, they can put on their own event. Microsoft has put on its own events. Sony has put on its own events. And so it's easy to look at it and go like, well, look at what Apple does. They don't have to go to fucking CES or fucking, whatever these other mobile shows are. They just put out their own thing on their timetable and they do it. And it's easy to look at that if you're a company the size of Microsoft or Sony that has like huge industry-changing announcements.
Like Amazon's thing before at GDC.
Or Google's thing.
Google, sorry.
Like, that's the sort of stuff that go like, oh, you can just have your own event. But, is Ubisoft going to have its own event for its full lineup? And are they going to invite the public to it? Does that make sense for them? And they're a huge third-party publisher. But I still look at it and go like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't think EA should be having EA Play at this point. With what their lineup is looking like it probably is, or what their lineup has been in years past. Like, that thing has seemed flimsy. And it's only because it's riding on the coattails of a open to the public E3 that you could make that make sense. Like, no one's going to go like, I got to go to EA Play. Except unless they're in the area. Oh, yeah. Unless they got to go to the stream cave.
Yeah.
And sign their memorandum of understanding about streaming these EA games. So yeah, I think for a lot of like publishers and stuff like that, like it doesn't make sense for them, or they're at a weird crossroads where it's like they could definitely have their own event, but it would be more like a Nintendo Direct style thing of like, we've just got a direct line to the public through our channels, and we can do that whenever we want. We don't need E3 to get our message out, and I think that's true for obviously the top players, the hardware manufacturers, Nintendo, all that stuff. Like, they don't need E3. If anything, E3 is a weird hassle for them because it's them competing with other companies at their tier.
Yeah.
And then you go down a rung to the third-party publishers and stuff like that. Like, many of them are, like Activision can have their own Call of Duty event.
And
it has. And will continue to, I'm sure. EA can kind of do stuff. They do stuff with Madden. They do, they could have a FIFA stream and reach the people they need to reach.
I mean,
Here's
even
what
the
Ultimate Team looks
even
like.
the smaller publishers can do that and maximize the return on their investment by
totally.
streaming stuff.
Yeah,
Like a Warner could say, if they had to, tune in Thursday at 10 a.m. for the new Rocksteady game.
Yes.
Like, maybe put some DC Comics looking shit around the edges if it's going to be a new Batman or Superman or whatever.
Right.
Like, they could build hype and draw eyeballs to their shit.
Right. And
the thing that
people used to always fall back on when it came to E3 was like, well, it's a big show of force for the industry to the mainstream media.
Right.
But like, the mainstream media isn't covering this stuff the same way they used to.
Right.
Like, when was the last time that USA Today had like Nintendo's big thing on like the front page? Because that was always like the day before their press conference or the morning of or something.
Like, it was big
USA
in the
Today
Wii
would have
era.
the exclusive.
Yeah, it was big like around the time of the Wii.
Yeah.
They may have done it with the Wii U.
Like, mainstream media has moved away from that type of coverage and that type of tech coverage because like companies are just doing it themselves.
Also, like, people don't watch the nightly network news anymore.
Exactly.
Like, people,
the idea
that's
of
not
just
where
like,
the eyeballs
video
are.
games are on display.
Right.
Like, who the fuck needs that?
Yeah.
What does that do for the industry other than that rah-rah show of force?
Right.
But it's not in that place
Like,
anymore.
nobody's going to those places to get news about video games.
Right. And
Nobody
it's not
cares.
that struggle to like prove legitimacy or anything that it has been for a while. Like, look, they're talking about the Nintendo on the TV.
Yeah. It's like, that's cool for your parents, but like, we're reaching a point where like, oh, your parents play video games too.
Yeah.
It's been around long enough that's not a, like, that struggle for legitimacy is a weird one. Like, it's not to say it doesn't happen, but that's not the thing that solves it.
No.
Retailers, if they're big enough, then publishers are going to them directly, and digital sales are increasingly, pushing out the need for retailers.
Yeah, I mean, like,
in
the
some
biggest brick and mortar games retailer is in rapid decline right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But like, if you want to sell your games into Walmart, you go see Walmart.
yeah, yes, yeah.
And
there are separate
publishers
retailer
do. And there are separate retailer events.
shows.
So like, E3 doesn't necessarily.
It doesn't serve a purpose.
It doesn't solely serve that purpose anymore either.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's I like E3. I think it's fucking cool as shit to go to this thing and see a ton of new games. Like, last week, like, I had a great fucking time seeing a bunch of unreleased video games. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, does the industry actually need E3 to get the word out about their upcoming games? I just don't think so.
No. Definitely not.
And I think that's the crossroads is like, and that's why you had the ESA very scrambly, like very late the first year that they allowed the public in. It felt like something that they were like, what if we did this?
What was that, 2 E3s ago?
I think so.
This is
Yeah.
the third one
That
the
was my
public can
first
get
E3.
into. Is that right?
And so that one felt super slapdash.
Yeah.
Like, that they just came to the idea of, I guess we could let the public in.
Remember the lines that first day where they like stopped letting people
Fucking
in? It
terrible.
took like 6 hours for some people to get in.
And last year they got better about it, and but that came at the expense of like, Sony brought fewer games to their booth, and the game areas where there would be third-party games and stuff like that were suddenly just like, here's a place for people to stand because we apparently need that now.
Just talking to people, they were like, this was not worth it. This was like, I played one video game.
We recorded podcasts on the show floor. Like, people were taking phone calls on the show floor.
Yeah.
You used to not be able to do any of that because it was just too loud, too packed, but like busy and industry busy.
Yeah.
and
deals happening.
It's just not that show anymore. And so, like, they'll do the public thing again this year. Like, we'll see if they've done any better. But, like, now more companies have said, like, you know what? Like, based on the past 2 years and also based on where they are generationally, a company like Sony especially, like, it doesn't make sense for us to even go at all. Even though you kind of, like, you get grandfathered into your booth space, and losing that is something that people have often been like, well, we don't want to lose our spot. We don't want to go to the back of the line for booths. So even though Konami doesn't have video games anymore, we're still putting this box on the show floor to hold some meetings in. Now they're even like, whatever, we don't need that shit. Like, IGN doesn't have a booth.
Yeah.
Like
that
one
of
the biggest websites that, E3 used to make up like from an ad sales perspective, used to make up such a huge part of the budgets of these big video game websites.
Yeah. Like that one was actually probably the biggest surprise to me.
That was the one that I looked at when like
pulled out. It was like, that is the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah. And like I look at it and go like, yeah, that makes total sense. Like to cover that show, you don't need a booth on the floor the same way you used to.
Right.
You can do cool shit with a booth on the floor. I think, GameSpot's keeping their booth. I think that's fine. Like, I don't think they're crazy. It's, yeah, sure, do it. Totally.
But you don't have to. Anymore.
And I get the impression that people are, everyone's sending fewer people to cover the show. Like, hey, you going to E3? It used to be a guarantee, like all hands on deck, everyone's going. And that's how we're treating it because we're a pretty small crew.
But who knows what that looks like next year.
Right. Who knows what yes, we'll see. So yeah, this is the stuff that I think we've been talking about for years. And we talked about it, I think, again, when Sony kind of formally said, hey, we're not going. But this ESA story that Variety ran, I think, is really interesting because it puts into focus like the last few years of turmoil around video games. Like, it connected a lot of dots for me, even just reading it, going like, "Oh, fucking yeah, of course." It's good shit. So I recommend reading that story if you care about that weird end of the business. It's interesting.
And there are calls among the member constituency to sell E3 off to ReedPop.
Yeah,
specifically mentioned in here.
Yeah,
so that would just make E3 another one of the stable of trade shows, along with PAX and
and
New York Comic Con,
EGX,
yeah,
Res. I think Reed owns that too.
All that stuff.
Yeah, because Reed bought Eurogamer.
Yes,
I think
and so they own that. They owned that EGX show. That's
so. Yeah, like that doesn't mean that a show called E3 won't continue to exist.
Oh, definitely
for years.
But if it gets sold off, like it might just become a very different thing.
It'll be a totally different thing if it falls to someone like that.
And maybe they just piggyback off the name because it still does have plenty of recognition.
Totally.
But maybe, I mean, well, whatever. It's a show in transition. It's been through this before. I think what happens next year will be telling, right?
Yeah.
Because
goes back to Atlanta.
Yes, fucking finally, man. Think of all the Bojangles we could probably get.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Maybe there's an upside.
Yeah. But like next year is the story, right? Like, because Sony's out this year, but if you look at what they would likely be talking about and showing, it makes sense for them not to be here.
Right.
Next year, they will be presumably months away from launching a console.
Totally.
There will be games to play. There will be like things to do on a PlayStation 5 by this time next year.
Yeah.
Will they come back? Will there be a show to come back to? Will Microsoft? Will they come back around the show the same way Microsoft pretty much does?
They might lose their spot to Totino's or something.
Yeah.
Or will they have a PlayStation Experience somewhere?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Will they say, hey, PlayStation Experience LA is happening in June?
Or somewhere else at a different time.
Yeah, exactly. Or will they bring back PSX and just say, hey, a month before the PlayStation 5 comes out, come play it here.
Yeah.
They would be. I think they would be crazy to not bring back PSX next year prior to that.
Especially
launch.
that close to launch. Like the games are almost done. The hardware is stable. Like you've got a good number.
Put it in front of the public.
You've got a good number of units made. Like you can actually show it to people in force instead of 6 months before launch.
But maybe they've got other ideas. There's a billion different ways you could launch a console. Especially if you start to account for like, hey, what does this streaming tech look like? You could just be like, hey, if you want to play a demo of a PS5 game, turn on your PS4 and stream it.
Here's a new app you can download and you can check out one of these games.
There's a lot of different ways. And so like all those things add up to like, do you need the industry to get together in LA once a year?
Yeah.
No, you don't. I think it's really cool that it happens. I like doing those live shows.
Yeah. The companies that are spending millions on their presence there, though, have a much more pragmatic approach to it.
The fucking stone cold return on investment angle of it is like, could you spend this money somewhere else and get more out of it?
Yeah,
and probably
the answer is an unequivocal yes. I think.
We'll see. It's going to be an interesting show. But like that said, like I have played games that will be at E3 that I'm super fucking excited about.
Yeah.
So like I think that there's going to be some cool shit out this year.
Yeah.
I don't mean it to sound doom and gloom. It's just the industry is changing. Will we end up in the airplane hangar in Santa Monica again?
That was kind of a low point in E3 history.
As someone who only went to that airplane hangar once for half an hour just to play Burnout, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Because everything else, that was the year that we rent. That was 2007, right? So that was the year that we rented out. I actually walked past that restaurant on the Santa Monica Pier that GameSpot rented out, and everyone just brought their games to us on the pier.
Well, yeah, for you,
and
but
it was awesome. Yeah,
the companies replaced all their booths with ballrooms in hotels up and down that strip. So if you were going to meet with all the companies, you were running between hotels constantly. Like, it was just bad.
So if you want to know what last week looks like, it's actually that, but a third of the hotels.
Right.
It's because it's the same area. It's the same.
Wow.
It is in many cases those exact hotels and those exact ballrooms.
Yeah. They ran that Mario Maker stream last week.
Hell yeah, they did.
Man, that was a lot to take in.
Whew.
Yeah.
Roughly 15 minutes.
In a short period of time. It was almost too much to keep up with.
I love that they're making new old things.
Yeah.
Like, here's new music in the Mario 1 style to fit this new tile set. And
like new mechanics.
Yeah.
All that stuff. The moon.
Yeah.
The low gravity, all the night stuff.
So do you think that I kind of wish that they had gone all out. So they've got the 3D World tile set is the new one, right?
Yeah.
Like, they showed someone switching to that tile set and it popping up and saying, these are incompatible. We're going to wipe your whole level.
Yeah, that is probably the actual biggest revelation of this whole thing to me.
Like, their willingness to be like, here's a style so different that it breaks compatibility.
We have
and
put
we're
a ton
okay
of
with
work
doing
into
that.
this
a bunch of
thing.
unique mechanics for this.
It's weird because it kind of means that the other ones are a little obsolete. If presuming you can do everything you can do in the new style, like on-off switches and
they're
all the
obsolete
other stuff.
in the same way that like Super Mario World is obsolete compared to Super Mario 3D Lands.
Maybe obsolete's a strong word, but it means that like I'm gonna want the full tool set at my disposal, so I should probably only use that style.
Yes, but you're also like you're gonna. I mean, does it have everything of those other ones too?
That's what I want to
know.
know. Will it have on-off switches? Will it have all that other stuff?
Will it have a car?
Will it have a car?
It may very well not.
Imply it have different physics?
Yeah, I don't think it's in any way confirmed that it will have all that stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe then that's an imperfect solution too, right? Because it'd be nice to have one tile set that just had everything. So you just have this full tool set at your disposal. I think that'd be great.
And there were a lot of people out there. If you notice on the thing, it says like New World Styles, plural, and it's just by itself.
There's a hot empty area on that.
Yeah.
Do we all think it's Mario 2?
If they're willing to break compatibility, that opens the door to Mario 2 like that. Like there's no reason not to.
That's the obvious route.
Oh, it's so good. It's the one like everyone, well, not everyone, but it's the one I've seen the most demand for of like, oh, if they make another Mario Maker, I hope I can make Mario 2.
Totally. They should do that.
I
wonder what it would look like. Like, would they redo the art? Or are they just going to use the original 8-bit
I would assume they would just use the original stuff. I mean,
and then make like new
with
old
a drop
stuff
shadow
like you were talking about.
Yeah.
They could use the Mario All-Stars treatment
of 16-bit.
Oh, that looks good.
It would be cool if they put that in there as an option, though. If you wanted to toggle to those versions of those styles, they should
have both.
There's a lot of stuff that they talked about, but personally, my two highlights were like objectives now instead of just clear this level. It's like get 100 coins, or
like you have to be big when you finish it, or whatever.
Yeah. I think that really just blows open what people can do with that game.
Yeah,
because we're already seeing really huge levels of creativity with Mario Maker 1.
Just like there was one that was like, what if you were inside Bowser and saw his bowels? Like they'll make anything in that thing.
There's one where it was like a Fortnite thing. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And then the other thing it seems a little gimmicky, but I'm really excited for is multiplayer.
I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah, I feel like not most levels aren't going to be designed to be played multiplayer, which is going to be a bummer. Like, it is nice that there's a tagging system now, and so you can tag your multiplayer level as multiplayer. But I think because it's like an afterthought, we're not going to see as much with it as
probably
we
not.
could.
I mean, it's a very specific use case for us.
It's the sort of thing that maybe develops over time, right? Of like, okay, like more players, or there are now enough good 4-player levels out there to play.
Totally.
I mean, I said it on the stream, but if, let's say you've cultivated a good, healthy inter-website rivalry over time in this game, on this platform, it's a very direct venue of competition.
Another us buff is the fact that you can do dual creation.
Yeah.
Like 2 people working on the same level.
I don't need that.
That's a neat idea. I think that's cool. That's a cool. That's another thing for us. That could be cool on a stream for 2 people to be working on the same level at the same time.
I don't want to use a Joy-Con. I don't want to use a controller to make levels.
I mean
that's good for fine touch stuff.
So I watched the fucking UK or the EU version of that direct, and so I got all the stuff at the end that was like fucking pre-order and get a stylus.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man, stylus. And then I was like, oh wait, that's not in the US version.
Yeah,
of the video.
the US has that bundle without the stylus,
Yeah.
which fucking sucks. Because I would be very tempted to plunk down right now if it had the stylus in it.
I already own a stylus. It's fine. But
I mean,
Does it have Mario on it?
It does not.
It's not a Mario themed stylus.
It's an Amazon Basics stylus.
So it doesn't have Mario on it.
That is still a pretty good deal though. Like the game and a year of online for $70 is.
Oh yeah, that is.
It's like
yes.
that's
a savings of $10. Is it?
But if they put the stylus in,
What if they put the stylus in there?
they also
That comes out right after E3, right?
end
June.
of June,
Yeah,
so it's like
pretty close.
2 weeks after E3.
Oh, that's so soon.
Yeah.
It's like a month.
Yeah.
They also announced that weird, what did they call that? Like ticket thing? You can basically pay
Vouchers.
the voucher
Get some
system.
game vouchers. Buy 2 vouchers for $50 each.
Yeah, you basically pay $100 and get 2 $60 games.
Yeah.
But not every game is eligible.
And they expire.
And they expire if you have to use them within a year of buying them, or I guess they're just gone.
Yeah.
Like if you're proactive about it, it's a good way to save.
You
some
automatically
money.
get a copy of 1-2 Switch with your voucher.
Wait,
after you don't spend it for a year. No, that's
okay.
not.
I was gonna say. I did love that 1-2 Switch was one of the first games that they showed on screen in promoting this program.
I'm guessing that's not $60 still, right?
I'm guessing you're right.
I don't know.
It can't be.
Yeah. Nintendo doesn't. I'm sure you could find a physical copy of 1-2 Switch for a lot less than $60.
Let's see.
Yeah,
41.86 on Amazon
Okay.
for a copy.
Yeah, but I think that it makes a lot of sense if you look at the first Mario Maker as hey, we're gonna kind of stay close to tradition, and this is gonna be relatively accurate to Mario. This one being fuck it, man, we have that game. We're gonna blow the doors off this motherfucker.
Yeah, they added a lot.
That's great.
It's
programming how tracks run, programming how
Yeah.
auto scroll accelerates or decelerates.
all that stuff looked really intuitive.
But they still haven't said anything about whether you can make a world, right?
Yeah, they did
Yeah,
not.
I feel like at
that's-
this point they would have gotten
yeah.
out there. And
I feel like just a simple visual, map editor,
Or even if it's just these standard basic little courses they have, but I just want to if I could just plot a progression and say,
but it would be
you can use your Mario Maker stuff to
it would
bring
be
stuff in.
It would be
make
so
new
easy
stuff.
though to just take all the the tile set assets from Mario World and just let you touch base, drag stuff around, and make your own islands and draw a course through.
They don't want you to make it look like a dick.
That
They
would
don't
be
want
so
you to make your
cool.
world look like a dick.
I need to make my world look like a dick.
It's gonna get flagged.
Your world is a dick spiritually, thematically. That's what matters.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's so much stuff in there. We barely even talked about all the moon and nighttime mechanics and
low gravity.
that fucking Super Famicom logo that flashes when you get in the car. What is that?
That was very strange.
It's just cool.
It's weird. It's a weird thing. Also, it's got a story mode. Rebuilding Peach's castle. That's way more than where the first game just had 100 Marios. Basically, was kind of it for.
Well, they made a bunch of levels.
Well, yeah,
and it kind of was a progression of hey, here's some ideas for stuff you could use.
Yeah, but this is a
and it was
cooler,
effective.
this
But yeah,
is a cooler
that's
wrapper for showing all that stuff off, and also you can unlock a bunch of stuff for your maker profile.
Yeah, that's fun.
Trinkets and stuff. It just seems like a much more fully featured thing.
Definitely.
Tagging, advanced tagging.
I
tags.
didn't even realize tagging wasn't in the first game.
Yeah, the first one was missing some stuff for
You
sure.
need to type it BOWLSER to find the good levels.
That's right.
Yeah. Here's
But
a
there's there was something else. Oh, I'm pretty sure that the company or the guy or whatever it was, that company in Japan that I bought my like video out Vita from was doing Switches, but also went under. So I think we're still kind of saddled with the idea of just like, you can't get video out while it's undocked.
Yeah.
And so like the act of streaming level creation will be like, hopefully the Joy-Con controls or a Pro controller or whatever, hopefully it's good enough.
Yeah.
Because I would like to do some stuff around that, but
somebody wrote in suggesting the 2-player might be a way to do that, but I don't think that's how that works. It looked like 2-player design only works on one console.
Right, yeah.
Somebody was suggesting
they're
that
like,
you would be able
if you
to
do kind of video
dock one and have the other one handheld, but I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah. If they did, that'd be cool. But we'll see. I wonder if they'll do all the cool costumes and stuff that they did last time, like you use the amiibo to unlock stuff
or Skinny Mario.
I haven't thought about amiibo in a minute.
Yeah. I'm using a Ryu to prop open my door to my office. Fits right under the door, wedges under there, and keeps it nice and open.
His big old bare feet.
Yep. Just stare at those feet.
It's just Ryu dragon punching a door
pretty much
over and over.
Yeah.
Here's a weird story that came out of Kotaku last week about upheaval in the Call of Duty chain of production, I guess is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Activision has been on their 3-year cycle for Call of Duty for a good long time now, where each studio takes 3 years to make a game.
Right.
They all leapfrog each other. It keeps the churn going on an annual basis.
Yeah.
Treyarch just put out Black Ops 4 last fall.
Right.
But now the word is that next year's game, not the one coming out this fall, but next year's the 2020 release, which should have been handled by Sledgehammer and Raven.
I think they even say that Raven was taking the lead.
Yeah,
on
so
it,
that was
right?
that was already a change they had made to the cycle, was that they were giving Raven more of a leadership position.
Yeah.
Because Sledgehammer has lost their leadership,
right,
in the last few months.
Yeah.
Or year.
Yeah, it's been a while, longer than that. But
also another tidbit that I hadn't heard before in this story is that Michael, is it Condrey or Gondry? I never remember. Condrey. Michael Condrey, we talked about, he started a new studio for 2K a few weeks or months ago. Apparently, according to the story, Sledgehammer has been hemorrhaging employees to that new studio.
Oh, sure.
I want to say they said by the dozens. Yes.
Oh.
Yes, he's recruited dozens of Sledgehammer staff to that new studio, according to the story. Anyway, Treyarch apparently is taking over next year's Call of Duty and turning it into Black Ops 5. So they will be on a compressed 2-year cycle now.
Well, you want... So if you think about it, next year's game, Call of Duty 2020, is likely to be the first one available for the next set of consoles.
Yeah.
You could go 2 ways with that. You could play it kind of safe and have like kind of a small, like Ghosts to me felt like a playing it safe of like, oh, this isn't really, maybe it's just my way of saying it was not a very good game.
Yeah.
But Ghosts didn't feel like a huge step forward in a lot of ways. They made some changes for change's sake, and it kind of just, it was a cross-gen game and whatever. So you could go that route again, or you could go for it and try to have a really splashy debut on the next set of consoles. I think putting a Black Ops game out is sending a message that they want to try to do something bigger.
Yeah.
Than maybe whatever Raven was doing.
Black Ops 4 was a big hit, right?
So this story says it did well initially, but it has not had the long tail that investors hoped for.
If you think about it, like in terms of like, where battle royales were at when they when they started announcing that stuff and rolling it out, and then you think about
in that like battle royale fatigue,
right?
Was,
and
like,
then Apex came along, and I've played a game of Blackout since Apex came out. I mean, Apex is a fucking awesome game.
Sure.
Yeah, this says Black Ops 4 has not had the kind of durable revenue tail that they hope to see, and that they're actually now talking about free-to-play options for the next game, which is something that this says they had been resisting as hard as possible. But it sounds like that may be
the next game, meaning Black Ops 5 or whatever this year's game is.
Executives have started to talk about embracing free-to-play as a revenue model, once anathema to the publisher. And 3 sources say are looking into offering a free-to-play component for this year's new Modern Warfare.
It's hard to beat free. Like there's a lot of free
Some
games.
within Activision have remained resistant to the idea.
It's a math problem.
Yeah.
You know, like at some point. But it's a math problem you can't go back from once you cross that gap into the
Like
free
this
play.
year it's free. Next year it's not going to be $60
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, you know, so you kind of have to be sure that not only has the revenue line gone below a certain number, it's that you can't fight to get it back.
Yeah.
Above to where you need it to be to keep going. So at some point you go like, okay, this is what this is now. So yeah, I'm sure that's a fucking huge source of debate internally.
Yeah,
probably has been for years in different formats.
So Raven and Sledgehammer are still on this project, but they've been relegated to kind of support roles again. It does say that they had been working on a campaign for this game, and that campaign will still make it into the product.
Okay.
It sounds like they
like a Cold War-ish thing is what they're implying.
They're saying
there, right?
like maybe Vietnam-ish era.
Oh,
So
cool.
this won't be VR or reborn Frank Woods. It'll be actual Frank Woods.
Sure.
Frank Woods actual. Sorry.
Yeah. And then, of course, there are some talk in here about concerns in Treyarch about what that kind of like work environment is going to be like when they suddenly have to get a game out a year earlier than expected.
Well, if they're yeah, I don't know. I was going to say if they're not doing the campaign, if that whole thing's coming in from Raven and Sledgehammer like kind of whole cloth, then maybe that helps.
Yeah.
But you would assume they would get resourced up to make that a reality because they were probably expecting to have a whole another year to make that thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
And
But
then
I think that's a cooler that's a more attractive name to put on your first like next generation Call of Duty.
yeah, I guess
Like
so.
to have a Black Ops game.
Yeah.
Like hey.
Yeah. The story also even closes by mentioning tension between Sledgehammer and Raven over this project, and that being one of the contributing factors to this.
Oh.
So it just sounds like kind of messy all around.
They sure make it sound like Sledgehammer got the fucking short end of the stick
Yeah.
a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You know, because they came in working on a game and then got pulled off that to like close
that's
out
right. They
Modern
weren't
Warfare 3.
Initially making a Call of Duty, or were they always going to make Call of Duty
they
games?
They were always
Okay.
making Call of
But
Duty.
it was going to be an original one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were trying to, I think they were making something that was like dramatically different. That then suddenly it was like, oh, actually, you need to close out Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
And we'll let you make your own game eventually. And then, well, what did they
They did Advanced Warfare, which was one of the better ones
Yeah,
recently.
Definitely. And then World War II, which is, you know, it's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what that looks like next year. Did y'all see this Minecraft Earth business?
Oh
Yeah.
Oh man, are you excited?
no! Oh no! I'm gonna have to.
Is it more the Pokemon or the AR that has you in to go? Because this doesn't have Pokemon, but it's got AR all over the place.
both?
Which
I
are you more-
guess.
Which are you more excited for, this or Niantic's Harry Potter
Oh
game
shit!
that they've been working
I don't
on?
know,
what about
man.
the Ingress anime?
They have an Ingress anime.
Apparently, there's an Ingress anime.
What the fuck am I doing?
Exactly.
God damn. Okay.
Jan's going all the way inside the alternate reality.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We can't get him out.
Can I hook this up to like goggles or something so I can just
Ooh.
play?
Like
Yeah.
Fuchs High?
Okay. Harry Potter.
Okay.
I think I'm more excited for
All
it.
right.
Mm.
Just want to catch them fantastical beasts. But this looks neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Microsoft has announced Minecraft Earth, which is not like a sequel exactly. It's for phones. It's AR. It's basically Pokemon Go given the Minecraft treatment. But it sounds a lot more elaborate. It sounds kind of cool.
It's like the idea
Yeah.
is like you'll kind of build in a location, and if other
Well,
players see
yeah,
it,
I mean
they'll
there are
see it
different.
too.
There
Is
are
that-
different. There are different tiers to the experience. Like, I mean, if you were wondering if you're just going to be straight up going around like collecting stone, so that you can later build things out of stone, the answer is yes.
Yay.
Like there will be air
Let's do it.
locations you go to just to like mine shit.
Okay.
Fucking do it.
Yeah.
But that's
Going on a stone raid.
basically that sounds like that's
No,
presented.
you can't have a ride to the stone raid.
God damn it.
That's presented as like the lowest, quickest tier of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
There are other areas where there are quests. There are other areas that are like communal building spots.
Okay.
It sounds like you'll be able to build anywhere, like in your house, and save what you built and take it with you, and then deploy that. So you don't have to like
Oh,
you don't have to sit in the
yeah.
park for 4 hours building your castle
You should
before.
have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, how committed to this are
And
you?
then someone else should come along and set it on fire. and
I was
then
about
beat
to
them
ask,
up.
can you throw lava on
Yeah.
other people's creations.
The
Can I play as a creeper and just blow people's stuff up?
Oh, I could make the floor lava.
It's an AR game, so you can always find ways to be a creeper.
the thing that was the most off-putting to me
You could
about
do that in Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
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 Let's see if I can just find this. Okay, about this hands-on for Polygon that I read about the adventures component of this thing, which are kind of more quest-ish. The writer describes getting to that area and taking part. Other people are already here. They are swinging their arms about in a way that's frankly a bit odd. I hold up my phone and I see a Minecraft-style castle transposed onto the park grounds. Now I see there are enemies guarding the castle gates. I select a weapon from my on-screen prompts, and I start swinging at the enemies. I am in the game alongside other people next to me. I mean, just the idea of people in public flailing their arms around with their phone.
It's going to be even worse than the Pokemon Go.
Is pretty off-putting.
Because that was just people looking at a screen and doing this. Now it's going to be...
I mean, if anything, that almost sounds a little hazardous
I'm all for it.
in a public
Yeah.
area.
Let's go.
That part is a little bit
So many
strange.
people are going to walk off cliffs.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw a bridge.
Oh, God.
Tried building one, bro.
But the part where you can build stuff and plop it down in the middle of the world and other people can just see it and
Yeah.
interact with it.
It can say like, man, that is a hard dick.
Yeah.
It sounds cool, I think.
You could tag up buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just biting political commentary. I made the White House orange.
Oh, shit.
Nickelodeon.
Slimed it.
President Garfield.
I don't know. The thing
President Heathcliff.
The thing about this
yeah.
that's cool to me is that those other games so far are more about taking a thing away from a location, and this is more about you making and leaving things in a location.
Yeah, I
You know?
like that too. Yeah, it's something for people to find and
Yeah.
experience rather than
Yeah.
like just randomly generated a Pokemon here that you
Right.
can grab.
But the Pokemon is the same for everybody, you know?
Yeah.
Like this is like you actually getting to be creative and put something virtual in the world that people can stumble upon.
And
That is
destroy.
neat. Yeah. It
I think this
sounds-
really comes down to like how much you can grief. Like how
Right,
easy it is
yeah.
to just mess up everyone else's
Uh,
structure.
Like
So-
it's a communal building space, and someone decides like, well, I want this to look like a baseball stadium, and then someone comes in and goes, no, it needs to be gigantic,
So-
throbbing, hard wangs
Mhm.
everywhere.
You save your designs, like stuff you build, you basically always have a perfect copy of you can deploy. So you can put
Does that mean I have to walk out there and deploy it every couple of hours because some other asshole is coming out and deploying his shit?
I want to say they said you can put out like kind of read-only versions of your designs if you want to.
Okay.
But then that's graffiti.
I'm not sure.
But then what if I I want to play the game and this is the only communal space near me? Yeah,
Are you in
I'm
jail?
sure. What? Yeah.
Okay. Well, that explains it.
They're running a closed beta this summer, so we'll be able to find out relatively soon. This thing sounds neat. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
It's something that like gets a lot better as AR tech gets better. You know.
Yeah. It almost makes me wonder like how good the cameras on the Quest are, but they're probably not good enough for AR.
No, they are like there's
Those are-
depth
they're
to them,
the-
but it's a black and white fuzzy
Okay,
image. It's
they're just
yeah.
the tracking cameras,
Yeah,
not okay. Because that would be a cool way to do that.
Mhm.
And then last story. Did you guys talk about the Riot walkout
Yes.
before it happened?
Yeah, we talked. Yes, we did. We
week-
talked
the
about it
week I
before
was
it
out.
happened. We mentioned that it had happened.
Okay. Well, it happened, and Riot has not budged on the issue.
Yeah.
They're still sticking to their guns on forcing people into private arbitration. They claim that it's because there is ongoing litigation. They don't want to basically change course midstream, and they say that once those lawsuits are resolved, they will potentially offer people an option. We remain committed to having a firm answer around extending an opt-out to all rioters when active litigation concludes.
Oh, that whole sentence just made me like I got like dizzy for a sec.
Yeah. So whether you take them at their word or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. That's it for news?
That's it for news.
That's it for news.
That's probably it for news. Unless you want to talk about this Team Sonic Racing review that I just came upon.
Nope.
Okay. We'll let Vinny handle that.
Yeah,
one.
that's a New York
That is
video
a
game.
Vinny joint for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. That concludes the news hour then. Let's take another quick break and then come back and read some emails.
It's time to turn your dream into a reality with Squarespace, because Squarespace makes it easier than ever to launch your passion project. What is your passion? Go ahead. Okay, I'm going to leave a pause here. You say my passion is, okay, say your passion. That sounds great. Whatever you said, whether you said, I want to start a new business, I want to showcase my work, I want to publish content, sell stuff. Squarespace is the tool for you, okay? They've got beautiful templates created by world-class designers, and you can customize just about anything with a few clicks and easily make a beautiful website all by yourself. Squarespace also has powerful e-commerce functionality that'll let you sell anything online, and analytics will help you grow your site in real time. It's all optimized for mobile. There's nothing to patch or upgrade. They handle all that stuff for you. And buying domains is simple. You'll get the help you need with Squarespace's 24/7 award-winning customer support. Hey, Squarespace empowers millions of people to turn their great ideas into something real. These people are all over the place. They're designers, they're lawyers, artists, restaurants, gyms, whatever. Everyone is using Squarespace to turn their great ideas into something real. And now you can too. Head over to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/bombcast, offer code Bombcast.
I have here a cache of emails.
Cash money?
A trove.
Oh.
The finest treasures.
Yeah. Sparkling like jewels.
Brad, if I wanted to email the
These
Bombcast,
emails
how do I do it?
First, you need to get a pirate crew together. Sail the high seas.
That's a lot of work.
Find the secret island.
I just want to know if you guys like
X marks the spot.
Cheez-Its or goldfish more.
Booty.
Bombcast@chinabomb.com.
Oh.
That's the secret password.
You guys like Cheez-Its or goldfish more?
Goldfish.
Goldfish? I think I'm on Team Goldfish.
Trying to
White cheddar Cheez-Its.
trying to get my
Ooh.
cheese snacks straight. Cheez-Its are the square crackers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I might. Aren't they kind of basically the same thing?
No.
Cheez-Its have more of a cheese flavor. Goldfish
Yeah.
are more of just a salty
yeah.
cracker with
I
a
think
hint of cheese.
I have to go for the Cheez-Its, I think.
Okay. Divided on this
A
one.
little more. I think the Cheez-Its are a little bit greasier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Saltier too.
Yeah. Okay.
I even like the regular no cheese flavor of goldfish.
Yeah, just the
Those
straight
are-
up.
yeah, just
But sometimes you get those flavor blasted fish.
yeah. Pizza.
I love a flavor blasted fish.
I like to blast things with flavor.
Give me a flavor fish.
It's like I'm in flavor country.
I'm ready.
Yeah. You've emigrated.
Question from Alec. Why does Kotal Khan have a Buster Sword in Mortal Kombat 11?
He's very big.
He's pretty big. He's not Shao Kahn big.
He's close to Shao
No.
Kahn.
Or Shao Kahn has that big hammer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shao Kahn, and a spear.
Does he?
Yeah.
Because he can saw people's stomachs with the sword. It
Oof.
looks very good.
Oh yeah, he comes up from the bottom.
Yeah, it's
and,
it's fucked up.
that's maybe one of the most There's a lot of normal moves in that game that really are almost worse than the X-ray moves, and that's to me one that was so visceral.
Yeah. Y'all still playing much of that?
I've been away, so
Yeah.
no, but
I also had to go out of town, unfortunately, and kind of lost the plot on it.
A little bit. I'm playing with my partner who's kind of learning fighting games for the first time, and we're up to medium AI difficulty. It's going, which is kind of where a lot of those Towers of Time are either medium or hard. So we're finally getting into those.
Maybe that's the place to start.
yeah.
I'm worried that I feel like we've missed the window online now, right? Just like anybody
Oh,
playing
I wonder,
online is
yeah, but
completely savage.
they might. They're probably all also off in their own lobbies.
Yeah.
or playing ranked.
Sure.
Or
Yeah,
something like
I
that,
guess if
so.
the matchmaking if the skill
Yeah.
ranking is good enough, maybe you're okay.
I was winning most of my online matches when I was playing it regularly, but it's been a week and change. So
I think I went 0-14
Nice.
online.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm 0-1 at the moment. So, question from Mark: with Ubisoft making a point to say that their games are not political with Far Cry 5, The Division 2, and Ghost Recon, does that make you worried about the Watch Dogs 3 tone and storyline?
we'll see. I think Watch Dogs 2 had some shit to say.
Yeah.
And was a little bit more pointed. It wasn't,
I guess so.
Didn't go as far as it maybe could have, but we'll see.
I don't think he's going to be taking on Brexit.
I think that's a distinct possibility.
I wonder if. Well, I started to say if there's any scuttlebutt about which studio is making 3, but I couldn't tell you who made 1 or 2.
Yeah,
so
I have not.
I don't know.
Reflections did that first game, didn't they?
Did they? Maybe so.
The Ubisoft studio system is so
stable,
and so many different studios pitch in on a game that it's
the Ubisoft stable is very confusing at this point.
Watch Dogs is a weird one because like I don't think that all fucking single player video games need to have something to say. Like I think that's up to the people making the game, but Watch Dogs is a game so about like
it's about the
technology,
it's about the moment,
which
the current
is
moment.
the biggest, one of the biggest deals going on right now. Of
the last game had you kind of taking on a fake Facebook stand-in, pretty directly, and
there's definitely a certain like ripped from the headlines quality to Watch Dogs.
Yeah,
that I think they could have gone further with for sure.
Ubisoft Montreal made the first one.
Okay,
it turns out.
Okay,
and the second one. That's the main developer listed on these.
Are they making the third one?
It's like Reflections worked on the driving.
Yeah, because that's their speciality.
I don't remember anything about the driving in those
third one's not announced, so there's
an open world game. You can be in cars.
Not any.
Right.
You would hack traffic lights and shit while you were driving.
Yep.
Oh, right. I don't think I finished.
Make barricades come up.
Yeah. Email from Oscar in Brisbane, in Australia. Do you think the Genesis is called that in North America because you dudes are into Jesus?
Yeah, hell yeah. Love that dude.
Yeah.
First book of the Bible, one of the best video game platformers of all time. Yeah, pretty natural fit.
That's right.
Check us out. What if it's about Phil Collins, though?
Yeah, okay. All right.
Right?
Yeah.
Now you're just as, if not more, on board.
What if Phil Collins was all about Jesus?
Is that what he could feel coming in the air?
Yeah.
Maybe is that anything like flavor blasting?
It's a lot like flavor blasting.
Gross.
Yeah, I tried to look it up after that email came in because it made me curious, and I couldn't. There's no like official story out there.
It's probably just like someone in marketing thought it was a cool word.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because Mega Drive is a way fucking cooler fucking set of words.
Mega Drive is a really good name. Like
holy shit, man!
It really is pretty good.
I think it's better removed. Like looking back,
it gets better with age. Like maybe in the '90s, Mega Drive was like a little
horny,
but now it's fucking it's hard.
Genesis never goes.
That's
out of
hard
style.
cyberpunk right there.
Genesis is not a bad name for a console.
The Sega Genesis
is Mega Drive. Man, Mega Drive might be one of the best names for a console. Consoles aren't named anything good anymore.
No, they're all just like.
Yeah, what if they had stuck with that scheme and then it was like the Sega Giga Drive?
The Giga Drive, yeah. That was like there were like EGM rumors about like the Terra Drive and Giga Drive and stuff. I think like right, Neptune.
Yeah, sure.
Now we have Xbox One and PlayStation 5.
And it's not even the first one.
No.
Yeah.
Switch is
naming consultants showing up and just fucking like, what do you see in your dream cloud when you think about these words? I don't know how naming works. I should point out. I'm pretty sure it's people saying what's in your dream cloud.
Is that how Giant Bomb?
Yeah, totally. We looked in our dream cloud and then everyone walked on hot coals and then the name just came to us, man.
Smoked some peyote.
I've come to respect how ridiculous and nonsensical the Xbox naming conventions are.
Yeah,
like.
I like how nonsensical it is, but the names aren't cool.
No, they're not. But that's what I mean. It's just so dumb that it's.
But like
it becomes funny in a way.
Xbox is, I think, fucking like just as.
I mean, it was a code name.
Corny in its day as Mega Drive might have been.
They literally just took the code name of the project and made it the name.
It's the fucking secret. It's the fucking Xbox. It runs DirectX, but also X. Like, what is it, man? I don't know, man. Generation Remix, man.
Right. I mean, they're just so mercenary about it. It's like, they're putting out the PlayStation 3. Ours should also have a 3 in it.
Yeah.
Why not? It's dumb. Alvaro from Cincinnati. I realized the other day that although many games can be memorable, I, for the life of me, can never remember the names of the main characters. So I figured what better way to test your knowledge than to come up with a quiz. Here is a list of a few games from the last 15 years or so. Let's see if you remember the names of the main characters.
I bet I'll be bad at this.
Same.
I'm going to maybe take some of these out of order. Dead to Rights.
Oh, you're going the other way? I thought you were going to read character names and ask us to name the game.
Maybe that would be better.
Okay, but I'm going to say Nick something.
Never played
Well, I've got a bunch more. What would you prefer? He didn't specify. He listed game name and then character name.
Okay,
So.
I'll tell you that that like going game name to character name is going to be way harder than going character name to game name.
Okay.
So if you go character name to game name, maybe we'll get some right.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. How about Sam Gideon?
Fuck.
I'm going to say that's one of those fucking PS2, Xbox era fucking games about the devil. And that dude was like
Ooh.
dark black, or like what the.
I'm gonna guess black.
It's definitely not black.
It's Vanquish.
Oh, huh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam.
Martin Walker.
Fuck.
What? I don't.
Spec Ops: The Line.
Okay.
Hayden Tenno.
Oh, God, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
Hayden Tenno.
Think about it.
I mean, it's not. Is it Dark Sector?
Yep. That's right. Tenno Khan.
Yeah.
Garcia Hotspur.
That's
Darkness. No.
no. That's the fucking grasshopper game.
Yeah. Garcia. He's got the
Shadows of the Dam.
Shadows of the
Yeah.
Dam.
Yep. That's it. William Augustus Gray.
William Gray.
That's the guy
Thief.
from. That's the
That's
guy
the
from.
thief from
no,
Thief.
that's the guy from Dark Void.
Yep.
Damn.
I didn't know Dark Void had such a ridiculous main
What's
character.
the thief's name from Thief?
The Garrett.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Uh,
I'm gonna be bad at this game.
Some of these are so mundane. Scott Monroe.
No idea.
Red Steel.
If you remember the protagonist
Red
name from Red
Steel
Steel,
is
you
the
deserve
Scott
to go to prison.
Monroe of video game names.
Tommy.
Rugrats.
There you go.
Nailed it.
Yep.
He would say Tommy Pickles if that was the case, Jan.
Also Prey from 2006.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Jean-Luc Cougar.
Fuck.
Star Trek Wildcats edition.
I don't know.
That's Operation Winback.
Okay.
What even is
yeah.
that?
That's like a stealth action game that came out on like the N64. It's bad. It's like a post Metal Gear Solid type of video game.
I got one. Joanna Dark.
No idea.
Couldn't tell you.
Sea of Thieves.
John R. Blade.
John Blade?
That's Sin.
Yeah, that's totally
Yeah.
Sin.
The guy from Sin's name is Jonathan
Hell yeah, it is.
Blade.
Yeah.
Blade's name isn't even John Blade.
What's
But John Blades is.
Yeah.
Also,
can it, JC?
Also, according to this, the R stands for Rusty.
fucking A, it does.
John Rusty Blade.
John Rusty Blade. Oh, that's terrible.
That's what this says. I don't know.
I mean, look, this is that's an era and an industry and a genre that came up with the fucking name Duke Nukem at some point.
Duke Nukem is a great name and it's never been bad. Even how bad the games got never made Duke Nukem a worse name. Just say it out loud. Duke Nukem. It's good. There's not many words that have the double ooh sound.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
It's fair. Jack Slate.
Oh, I know this one.
Is that Dead to Rights?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
is
I
Dead to
didn't-
Rights.
I didn't know that.
Bonus points. What's the dog's name?
Rusty Blade.
I don't know.
Shadow.
Okay.
He also included a short bonus quiz of lady main characters.
Okay.
Hit him. Rapid fire.
Sonya Blade, I know.
Nariko.
Fuck.
Is that the Shinobi follow up? Kunoichi.
No.
No.
Heavenly Sword.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Vanessa Z. Schneider.
This sounds like some fucking Blue Stinger ass shit.
That's not super far off.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
I was
some
gonna say that's
Resident
some
Evil
fucking
ripoff.
survival horror sounding
Well,
fucking.
It's PNO3.
Okay.
I want to get one of these right so bad.
Regina.
Come on!
Yeah, some of these are a little vague. That's Dino Crisis.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Heather Mason.
No. I was gonna say Call of Duty.
I mean, there's Mason's a very
Is there
big
a female
Black Ops.
protagonist in the
She's
Call
not
of
a
Duty game?
protagonist, but there is a character. Like Mason's granddaughter is like the rich lady in Black Ops.
Is it Black
4.
Ops 4?
This is Silent Hill 3.
Ugh.
All right. The last two are gimmies. Aya Brea,
That's Parasite Eve.
yes, and Kate Archer.
It's No One Lives Forever.
All right.
Gimmies?
There you go.
See, yes.
You got both of them.
I'm with you, Ben. Don't worry.
Okay. How about Mario?
Never heard of him.
Yeah, who's that?
Is that in relation to Luigi Mario or?
He's a friend.
Okay.
All right. Yasser from Toronto. Why does rapper Gucci Mane have the EA logo tattooed on his neck?
Because it's in the
Is he-
game, son.
Is he sponsored
Damn
by
it.
EA? Has he ever promoted any of their games?
It's in the game.
Will he be
And
on the
Gucci
next?
Mane is in the game.
Will
Trap
he-
God, baby.
Will he be on the next Battlefield stream?
Yes.
I've attached
All these
photo
answers are
proof.
Yes. Let's see this.
I mean,
see these photos.
The picture he sent, he's straight up sitting here in a Milwaukee jersey. So I'm guessing he probably likes EA Sports. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe just likes. He's wearing a basketball jersey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. That was my
Basketball
first-
exists without EA.
Well, yeah, but I
outside
mean-
EA, but
But you can't. It's not in the game.
it's not in the game. That jersey's in the game.
It's
Is he in the game?
That was just an EA Sports slogan, not EA overall, right?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
It's EA Sports in the game. EA was challenge everything.
Challenge everything was the
fucking-
the non-sports
Yeah.
slogan. It's not
What
nearly
was EA Big's?
not nearly as good.
big. Yeah, it's just
Big good.
As far as we know, he has not taken money from EA.
Yeah.
Also, still like way behind Riff Raff in terms of corporate branding all over
Oh yeah,
all over your skin.
I think Riff Raff may have covered some of that.
Huh.
I'm not sure.
Interesting.
Isn't he doing a song for the Sonic movie?
You got very excited, yeah.
I think that's the case. That's the case,
That
yeah.
is the word going around.
Very good.
I wonder if it'll be. in
What if
his-
they cut it out when they do the new?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all about
animations.
his teeth.
What if they redo it and it's just now Riff Raff is Sonic the Hedgehog and it's not CG anymore? Just digitally insert Dale D'Antoni into every scene.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Ben from Cincinnati
It's just me covered in spaghetti.
Gross.
or Chili.
Call that a
both.
three-way.
Went to a local retro gaming expo over the weekend. Somehow they got Daniel Pesina, Mortal Kombat's Johnny Cage, to attend. He was there signing autographs and giving photo ops. He even did a Q&A panel where, yes, he did a live martial arts demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted you to know about this oddity. Oddity nothing, man. I got into, there's a way more footage on YouTube than you would expect of the actual, like, photography sessions
Yeah.
for the original 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Just straight up, like, here's footage of them,
On a blue screen.
clowning around with Boone and Tobias and, like, doing the moves, and you can see how they did the jump kicks, because obviously they couldn't be floating in the air, and it's a bunch of cool shit.
Yeah.
And somehow I then ended up on masterpacina.com
Okay.
because it was advertised in some of that footage.
Yeah.
And he totally runs a
Like a dojo or
Yeah.
like a training facility.
There's
right?
a section on his website called Chicago Wushu.
Yeah.
You can book him for stuff. You can go to his classes. He's still doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's still out there. I don't know if it was on this site, but I ended up also on Philip On's website,
Yeah.
Shang Tsung from 2.
Right.
Like, they do appearances together. Like, they went to some gaming convention in, I think, somewhere in South America, maybe in Brazil or somewhere recently.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
they're like, some of those actors are still out there doing.
Yeah, like a lot of them
Appearances.
were like Chicago-based martial artists.
Yeah.
You know, so when
Yeah.
they rounded them up originally, it's like there was a lot of stuff like, oh, Rich DeVizio and Daniel Pesina and this, and, you know, there's like a lot of them kind of running together a little bit.
Yeah.
For a while until the lawsuits and well, even after the lawsuits, I guess. But, yeah.
Rich DeVizio seemed a little cocky in some of that footage.
I bet.
He's telling a story about being in an arcade and some dude going like, have you seen this game? Holy shit, look at this. And he's just like, hey, look, man, who do you think's in that game?
That doesn't. You don't see like they've done so much. He's got a metal plate over covering half his
Sure.
fucking face in the game.
There was-
like I could see.
Let's say that there was a Kano-esque arrogance to the story that he was telling.
I like it.
But yeah, I don't know how many of those actors are still out there doing stuff, like appearance-wise. But I don't think it's an oddity at all.
No.
For them to show up at a retro gaming thing. Let's see. Jacob writes in, a few weeks ago, my company introduced a policy that blocked all video game websites.
Finally.
All of the following websites are included in this block: PlayStation.com, Xbox.com, Nintendo.com, IGN, GameSpot, Twitch, and most importantly, yours. Any ideas on how to get around this so I can continue to enjoy premium Giant Bomb shows while at work? Another question, have any of you worked anywhere with similar policies? Also, P.S., please don't release the name of my company. Probably shouldn't have emailed from your work account on this. But I won't say what it is.
Now I really want to know.
Well, if you're premium, you can download.
Right, you can
know,
download
at
videos and bring them to work and watch them that way.
Yeah.
You could use your phone and the internet on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You might be able to, this depends on how much control you have over your computer, you might be able to install a VPN.
Yeah. That is a risky option.
Yeah.
But you could give it a shot.
Just bring in. I guess if it's is something like that.
It's at the network
It's at
level,
the network
usually.
level, yeah.
So you couldn't just bring in another computer and plug it into the network.
Do you work next to a McDonald's?
Yeah.
Or a Starbucks?
There you go. Thankfully, no, I've never had to deal with any kind of restrictive.
At school, we would have stuff like this, like for certain hours. It was like, the lab. There was like a huge block list of stuff, but it was so easy to go home and just do whatever you wanted.
We didn't have internet access when I was in school, so I don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no. Well, I guess there was technically an internet then,
But no cool gaming sites to visit and watch hours of premium content.
that's right.
I was downloading postage stamp size Mario 64 videos from out of E3 coverage in '96 on a 28.8.
Yeah. We were making postage stamp sized fucking real video encoded.
Fucking real video. God, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Why did anybody use that shit?
Because it was the best thing then.
It's the real player.
It's the realest player.
Man. IGN was putting out QuickTime movies.
We were doing QuickTimes and Real, I think, for a while. It's why we had one Mac in the office, just because we needed to do QuickTime.
I think I've still got some of those files lying around somewhere. Let's see. Steven, also from Brisbane. All the recent talk about Apex Legends has inspired me to ask, what's the biggest flash-in-the-pan game you've seen? What's a game that came out strong, caught everyone's attention, but just fizzled out before it could really get anywhere? I suppose what I'm asking is, what's the Chumbawamba of video games?
What? Chumbawamba's still
eternal.
Yeah,
I have to
doing it.
I don't know if
tub thumping.
I don't know if you watched the trailer for that Rocket Arena thing Nexon is doing, but they use tub thumping in that trailer.
Also, I would argue that Apex hasn't fizzled out.
Yeah,
it's had
that's
one
yeah.
season
I see why someone might ask this question based on some of the perception around Apex, but I don't think that's fair to Apex. But
yeah, I agree.
Like a game that kind of came and went. I think. I want to say, maybe I was gonna say Battlefield 5, but maybe Battlefield 5 never quite came to begin with.
It never flashed.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean that's bigger. That's part of a larger series that has been incredibly popular.
Yeah.
I almost started to say Killer
Anthem?
Instinct, but that kind of ignores this most recent one that did quite well.
Right.
But like I feel like back in the day, like KI was big for a minute in the arcades and then kind of fizzled.
Yeah. I never got into.
Killer Instinct series did not become a mainstay like the other fighting games.
I didn't
like
get
that.
into those games at all until 2 came out on the N64. And then, because 2, they softened some of their weird bullshit from 1 and just said, like, oh, what if it was slightly more like Street Fighter? And I'm like, okay, good. I'll play.
I got one 36-hit combo with Orchid down that I could do pretty regularly. That was about it.
I got into 3, or whatever the new one is. I played quite a lot of that game.
Is that still around in the tournament scene at all, or did
No.
it kind of
At this point,
moved on?
yeah.
I mean, they haven't made anything new for it in a while, like a couple of years.
No,
right?
they finished out their last season. I think that was it.
Yeah. Let's see. Question from Alice. I'm watching Alex play through Mass Effect 2 and rediscovering how good the world building in that series really was. Each of the different alien races has so much backstory that informs the quests and character interactions. and they're all different from one another. There have been plenty of big single-player games in the past few years, but it feels like world building on this scale is maybe a thing of the past. Do you think there will be another game or franchise with a lore this wide and intricate ever again?
I feel like a lot of that style of the lore and world building and stuff like that is stuff that like was pretty common on the PC. And so like BioWare having those roots, like you see those roots in Mass Effect, and then at some point you no longer see those roots in Mass Effect.
Yeah.
And Anthem doesn't quite have it that way
Like
either.
they tried to do it in Anthem, but they completely whiffed on having it all feel coherent and meaningful.
Yeah.
There was a ton of text that was not interesting to read.
Yeah. So I guess my answer maybe is no, not really, but surely there are companies probably still out there. Like maybe if I played more Divinity or something, I might have something to say about that. But you know, I bet that there are RPGs appearing on the PC in some form that are doing something that is sort of similar.
I mean, it makes me think about like Witcher and Cyberpunk because those have like novels, series of novels in one case, and like a tabletop RPG in another case. You know, like that's providing a bunch of backup lore, but those aren't in the game. Like Mass Effect stuff was obviously designed all for those games. That's a shame. That was one of the coolest things about Mass Effect.
Yeah. All those aliens did really feel distinct. They didn't feel just like,
dude, the Turians can't eat carbon-based food. They can only eat silicon-based food. That's amazing. Why do I know that?
Because it's for the same reason that like you know all that stuff about Star Trek, right? It's like you know, it's like interesting differences between these races that kind of comes up as maybe a throwaway thing that you file away. You're like, oh, that's interesting. It's weird. The same way like you would read the Enterprise technical manual and know shit about how that ship is built.
Yeah. Although I mean, a lot of the stuff in Star Trek was just kind of like ridiculous techno babble that didn't really go anywhere. Whereas like that thing about the Turians like ties into actual planetary science in a cool way. So like in some cases the Mass Effect stuff actually felt more well considered than the Star Trek stuff. Nathan from Tumwater, Washington. Have you ever tried to take care of a houseplant? Were you successful?
Yes.
Yes. I'm currently occasionally remembering to water a ficus.
Oh man. Fucking tell me your secrets because we have a ficus that's on the way out.
Occasionally I dump a bunch of water on it and go, oh fuck, I probably should do this more often.
That's what we do. It's like 3 years old and it just finally decided to give up the ghost. Its name is Fred. All of our plants have names.
Yeah, same.
Fred the ficus.
I got it.
Makes sense.
The biggest one is Prometheus. I'm nursing it back to health. It I mean I feel like figuring out lighting and watering patterns when you don't know any of that is the biggest struggle. But once you get it, it just becomes a process you can automate. I found an old broken chair and brought it home with the intent of trying to fix it up or something. But I instead punched a bigger hole in it and now use it to hold all my plants. And it's great. I love it.
All right. I like bamboo because it's impossible to kill. Like,
sure.
Bamboo will thrive in pretty much any condition.
A nice succulent.
Put ice cubes on those bad boys.
On what?
Succulents.
Oh, yeah?
They'll just slowly melt away.
Oh,
That's all
wow.
the water you need.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. All right. We had a money tree named Bling 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 that withered and died. Oh. So that's not.
Yeah, that checks out.
That's ominous. Let's see. Oh, I almost put this in news, but I like this email. James. Cheers from the land down under, he says. Just a heads up.
Mexico?
Yeah. Yes, that's the one. Just a heads up in case you missed the news that there's going to be a Mortal Kombat reboot filmed down under. Yes, that's right. Our local Aussie film industry has been entrusted to reboot the film in Adelaide. Should prove interesting times as it's the largest production to take place in South Australia and the film industry here is growing. James Wan from Aquaman production fame is producing it, with another local, Simon McQuoid, stepping up to his first feature. Isn't James Wan the Saw guy?
I don't know.
Anybody?
Insidious, I believe.
Insidious. Maybe that's where I knew it was some horror thing. Filming is starting later this year, and cast is yet to be confirmed. What do you hope to see in this reboot? Should it track with the new timeline? Should it go in another direction? What current Hollywood actors should get what parts in the cast? What past actors would be best suited?
Yeah, I want to see a dude punch a dude's head off.
Okay.
I want to see a bunch of rib cages fly out of a guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So super campy.
Yeah,
we're talking about
I
here.
want it to be along the lines of the original Mortal Kombat movie that kind of took the idea of the games. Hey, there's a big tournament for the fate of the world, and you four are Earth's best fighters, so we're gonna follow you through this, and you're gonna meet weirdos like Scorpion and Kano.
Well, yeah. Do you do the thing of just like, hey, the fighters from Earth see these things and go like, what the fuck? Or are they already hip to it
Or is
because
it
they've
like
got weird powers?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see in the movies they didn't have any of their powers,
Right.
so they were just good fighters.
It was like you got one. Didn't
Johnny,
like,
I feel like Johnny
Liu
Cage
Kang
had a,
hits somebody and there's like a
He
bit
does-
of a flash.
he
on
does
it or
the
something,
bicycle
right?
kick
Okay.
on
and then Johnny
Reptile.
Cage kind of has it.
has
he
like a
does
moment where he's
shadow
like a
kick
green.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
very brief, but they
Yeah.
just like don't explain it at all.
Right.
They should be able to find a good Kano.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Island full of Kanos.
I'm thinking of actors.
Yeah, nobody is immediately. I mean, I heard the part in that spoiler cast you guys did where you couldn't think of anybody. So this.
Tom Cruise for Johnny Cage.
Okay.
Mm,
I'm just thinking who's like got the best shit-eating grin.
The Miz.
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, no more
not bad.
wrestlers.
He's an actor as well.
You saw
He's
what-
been in the last 4 The Marine films.
Oh.
John Cena as Shao Kahn.
No more wrestlers. This
He's
is how we
buff
ended
enough.
up with Ronda Rousey.
Braun Strowman.
Ooh. Okay.
Hmm.
The Undertaker.
Wrestlers make a lot of
The-
sense,
the
honestly.
Undertaker.
Tajiri as Liu Kang, not Kung Lao. I
Yep.
just love the Japanese buzzsaw.
Yeah, sure. He's got a hat. It's like a buzzsaw. Why not?
I'm trying to think. Okay. Who's
Nicolas Cage
Jax?
as Raiden.
Oh, that's actually incredibly
All right.
inspired.
Sure.
Oh my God, he's
Yeah.
just hamming it up all the way, talking to the elder.
Yeah.
I need to go consult with the elder gods.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Sure. That's your star power.
Yeah.
That's your headliner.
Michael B. Jordan is Jax.
Okay.
Sure.
A little young, maybe.
I mean, this is. I'm
I feel like
assuming
Jax
this is
is-
going to be the beginning
Well,
of their
okay.
kind of.
Sure. I feel like I don't know.
Because young Jackson in 11 is, I'd say like early, like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I came to 2 as like a 13-year-old, but Jax always felt like my dad's
a
age.
dad. Yeah.
Like he always felt like he was the generation older than me.
Yeah.
Michael from Tennessee. I've seen commercials lately wherein Tom Selleck and Henry Winkler are celebrity spokespersons for companies offering reverse mortgages. This got me thinking about all these celebrity spokespeople for Medicare, insurance, and the like. I've seen do commercials since I was a kid and was wondering who will be the celebrity spokespeople that will be trying to sell me insurance and reverse mortgages when I'm older. As a 41-year-old, I predict at least one cast member from Friends, most likely Matt LeBlanc and or Lisa Kudrow. My question for each of you, who are 2 or 3 celebrity spokespeople you predict you will be advertising insurance and reverse mortgages when you become the demographics for these products?
The Miz.
Rainn Wilson.
The Rock.
No, he's not
No,
going to
you're
need
right.
the money.
Yeah.
It's got to be someone who's going to need the money.
Does Tom Selleck really need the money, though?
Yeah, we don't know. Maybe he's just been fucking
What's the last
balling
thing
out for
Tom
like 40
Selleck has been
years.
in?
Well, I mean, Magnum was syndicated.
Sure,
Pays.
He was in was it 3 Men and a Little Lady?
but
That's him and
you get a lifestyle going.
he did
and
that
you
cop
get
show.
accustomed to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
you got Hangers On.
Yeah, I mean, you show up for an hour
Yeah.
and shoot this commercial, and
Oh, what if it's going to be a bunch of YouTube influencers?
Oh yeah,
that's dark.
Yeah, it will. Well, so it's going to be someone older, slightly older than us, because it's going to be like, hey, you're turning really old soon, like me. Get on this thing.
Ah,
I mean, YouTubers are probably already doing that now, just
Yeah.
for free.
Steve Buscemi.
No, Haley Joel Osment.
He's got
Maybe.
that Kingdom Hearts money, man. He's fine.
That's
I
true.
don't, Tom Sizemore.
Okay. I don't know why Matt Penfield just popped into my head.
Jaleel White.
Yeah, that's actually probably the best one
Yeah.
we said.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was never known for being cool, but you know what's cool? Refinancing your mortgage. Hi, I'm Jaleel White. TV's Ursher.
Yeah, that's the one. What's Screech?
Oh, Dustin Diamond.
Okay.
Dustin Diamond. Yeah. A news dime.
Honestly, anyone from Saved by the Bell,
No.
except Mario Lopez.
Except Mario Lopez. He's got
Tiffany
he's got that
Amber
extra money.
Thiessen, man. Kelly Kapowski.
Hey,
Time comes for us all.
She's got to eat.
Don't put disrespect on her.
Everybody's got bills to pay.
yeah. I mean, speaking of that, like, so I fucking caught some in the hotel I was in last week. They had the hotel channel that was just running like Mario Lopez talking about movies, like fucking 24/7. And then it would be like him.
Is he a film critic now?
No, he's like a
host.
He's,
You
hosts,
mean
for
like
extra,
like
whatever.
pitching movies or covering?
He's like,
movies.
watch this
Okay.
trailer of this movie.
Okay,
It's fucking great. And then in between that, it was him like talking to a dude selling jewelry and giving offer codes and stuff. That was just like, oh, Mario Lopez, what are you doing, man? All right, well, whatever. This is the gig. Yeah.
Remember when he was an Animal
anything.
Planet guy for a long time?
No.
That was, I think it was before like Extra or whatever. He was an Animal Planet.
He knows that he was on Saved by the Bell. He knows he's got to maintain the hustle.
Word.
Yeah.
Or he's
Well, he was hustling.
or he's done.
This jewelry is really fancy. Oh yeah, we make it. Here's an offer code to use on our website. It's all shaped like bullets. Also, it was all shaped like bullets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what the? This is hot stuff.
Izzy Beth in San Jose. Jeff has mentioned that the missus loves makeup videos on YouTube. I was wondering if she has weighed in on the James Charles versus Tati Westbrook beef.
We've had multiple conversations about it.
It seems like some spicy shit that folks in that community would have opinions on that I strangely want to hear.
Dude.
What can you summarize?
My fucking Instagram stories just fucking loaded with so many sides.
What is this?
So this is all stuff I'm getting secondhand because I haven't seen any of this.
I'd
stuff
never
for
heard of these
myself,
people
but,
until all this happened.
The thing I heard last night was that he kind of posted a video that was just like this long running thing of like, okay, look, she's like super fucking me over on this, and this. I'm a 19-year-old virgin. Her statement that I'm like being like predatory and like trying to sleep with straight men is incorrect and an inside joke that she is kind of deliberately taken out of context. So that's the impression that I got from it.
I believe he provided a lot of text message
Yes,
conversations.
There was a lot of
video.
like a meticulousness.
He showed receipts.
Yeah, yes, he had the receipts for this stuff in a way that made it sound like this woman who is like, he's like 19, she's like 37 or something.
Is this like a team that does?
No,
makeup?
they weren't a team.
Okay.
It was just like
I think it was more of a mentorship.
It was over
thing.
vitamins. Like she had vitamins, and then he did an ad for vitamins, and they weren't her vitamins.
Okay.
And then
So
all
it's
this was
just
born out of that.
sour grapes
I
over
guess.
business.
It just
Got
sounds. It sounds like a fucking ridiculous mess, but for something that at the outset sounded like, oh man, maybe he's kind of a dirtbag. I think now from the most recent stuff is like, oh, maybe he's just super 19, and super
And
getting
being
taken
taken
advantage
advantage
of,
of,
and
I mean, so many of these like young YouTubers are really being taken advantage of by like shitty managers or shitty organizations, or
it's like you're putting your whole thing out there, and there's no classes for how do you manage your fucking brand when your brand is you,
and you're like a kid.
and what do you say no to, and what how do you know when to fucking be like, hey, this deal is bad for me, this deal is bad for my longevity, like that shit's a fucking minefield.
And then not to mention just being like a public person.
Yeah.
On top of all that, and being a youth. Like I was reading a study that, millennials today, or young people today are so worried about their image on social media that they're striving for levels of perfection that are causing them to become more depressed, more anxious, and stuff like that.
And so I read a story recently that was like actually like now the kind of people aging into it, or people that have been in there for a while are now rebelling against it and being like, no, I just take real pictures.
Yeah.
Like I don't filter shit.
People
just like,
are finally starting
that's starting to be the thing, and that now all the hyper meticulous fucking, I want to be a brand, I want to market a product on Instagram, like that stuff is now coming across as corny as it always has been.
Yes, which is why you have brands tweeting in not caps anymore.
Right,
and
fucking Kim fucking Kardashian. What the fucking fuck?
Yeah, I saw
this fucking bullshit. Like it was a perfect encapsulation of like what's kind of wrong with everything, where she just tweeted like, hi, Jack in the Box, I'm not going to put you on blast fully, but you need to answer your corporate email or DM me pronto. Like, did not at Jack in the Box, just threw that into the ether on Twitter.
In her order.
And I just want to be like, fucking fuck you.
To be fair, she was getting, I believe the term is dragged.
Yeah.
Mercilessly.
Here's a little bit more of that. Fuck you. Here, hit me right here.
Got you.
Fuck you. What the fucking fuck? Just type that out there like, oh, they'll see it. I'm Kim Kardashian.
Go
fuck
off.
you.
Go off.
Get the fuck out of here. The fuck is this bullshit? And then all the other fucking fast food brands took it as an opportunity to
that was
in a way that was just like, I fucking hate everything.
That was the god awful conclusion. Is that like 6 other restaurants
Wendy's,
were
this
all
ain't it.
replying to each other.
Yeah.
Arby's.
It's just like,
I thought we had the beef.
right. Yeah. Exactly.
The one-
everyone fucking had to have their fucking
The one and only good brand thing on social media ever is this recent
giant bomb. Follow
is
it on
this-
Twitter.
Now I feel like I'm advertising a company, but this Vita Coco thing,
Oh, the fucking
the
piss.
jar of piss.
Yeah. The fucking Jonathan Blow of coconut water.
Oh my
They
God.
went for it.
Yeah.
They went for it.
Yeah, that's committing.
I will give them credit for
Yes.
that one. And now I'm never using social media again.
Smart.
All right, 2 more quick emails. Zach from Ontario. I'm very worried that the new remake of Final Fantasy VII version of Cloud will be the post-Advent Children edgelord instead of the lovable goof from the original Final
With
Fantasy
the
VII.
sleeve. The big sleeve.
What do you guys think?
I think they're both bad. I don't care.
In my memory, there is nothing but the edgelord version of of Cloud to begin with.
Like
so
the brooding fucking like,
Yeah.
I don't want to save the world.
I didn't play it, but wasn't he also kind of like a goof? Like he
don't-
would like fall down and stuff.
guess.
I remember seeing gifs of him
I just don't even remember.
Maybe so.
Because in my head, he's just the fucking like, I don't want to save the world. I'm just here to do this. You know,
Yeah.
like that's the story of that game, right? But
Yeah,
like the
that's how I remember
localization
it.
back in the day was maybe a little more light in
Yeah.
spots. Maybe I just don't remember.
Speaking of that, did you guys see the Patrick's article about like, you know, how do you address spoilers for a 20-year-old game? Like, do I need to put spoiler?
Yeah,
when I start talking about
a
Final
little bit of
Fantasy,
that,
do I need
yeah.
to? I think that's a really interesting conversation. Like, I mean, I don't think you should ever go out of your way to spoil things, but like, you know, we're living in a time of constant re-releases and like nostalgia-driven.
But like, here's the thing, like, you know, who knows if they'll even stay faithful to those elements of that game?
Yeah,
You know, like in all likelihood they will.
like he finally. No, I
But-
was just about.
yeah.
I was just about to
But-
make a
but
joke by
will-
spoiling.
You know, the thing you would do if you were making that game today with today's video game standards and how fucking wishy-washy a lot of stuff can be is you would provide a way back
Yeah,
from some of that shit.
yeah.
And that would be your fun twist to be like, oh, we made a few changes I think the people will like. And then people will be very divided about
People
that.
would be fucking pissed.
But some people will be like, oh, finally, I don't have to use a Game Shark to do this.
They
yeah,
use a Phoenix down.
right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm the wrong person for that conversation because I just don't care about spoiler stuff in general.
Sure.
And though it's weird, man. So I would have expected a lot more conversation about Game of Thrones on the internet than I've seen. It seemed like that second to last episode, everyone got out of their system.
Yeah.
And then the last episode came on.
It's actually been like
and
the last.
it's been like
3.
very muted of just like,
Yeah.
I haven't seen people like discussing it.
It's been like the last 3 before this final one. People were progressively more and more disappointed from what I could tell.
Were people just like at this point, just like,
Yeah.
fuck it, it's
Yes.
over? Are
Yeah.
people just like
I
that
saw,
done
I
with
saw
it?
a ton of
Or-
people going into this last episode going like, yep, let's get it over with.
That, and then I feel like there was, after last week, there was a lot of tweets that were just like, oh, everyone's got a Game of Thrones opinion, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure that led to a lot of people being like, you know what? The internet doesn't actually need my take on the finale. There's going to be plenty of them. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I felt.
Yeah, my gut feeling is that a lot of people had just gotten past their disappointment and were just sort of like, yeah, okay, let's just get it done.
I will say I've noticed a large uptick on Monday morning of people using the loot bot in Mordhau to play the MIDI theme of Game of Thrones with their loot running around. So obviously, you know, that left a good taste in people's mouths.
Great.
Yeah. All right, last email. Ryan in LaGrange Park, Illinois.
LaGrange.
2019 is the year of light guns.
What?
PDP is releasing a new set of light guns and compatible games for the Xbox One. Besides the obvious question, why,
Yeah.
What light gun games would you guys most like to see return to modern platforms? For me, I'd love to see Time Crisis, Area 51, Dead Storm Pirates, and Virtua Cop. Sorry, there's one last line here. The latest resurgence of light gun games the last resurgence was on the PS3 with the ill-fated GunCon 3 and Move controllers. Do you think the industry is ready for light guns again?
No.
Sure enough, like I went to PDP's site and they have a thing called the Mars LightCon, which is like the color of the latter-day NES Zapper. It's like white and gray and orange.
Weird.
And looks all toy-ish.
And is it all new games?
It's,
or
kind of
doing ports.
It's $100 for the starter kit, which is one LightCon. It's got a little IR camera that plugs into the console, and one bundled game. The bundles are Voyage of the Dead, Oculus Quest, or Big Buck Hunter.
Okay, all right.
And then looks like right now, if you pre-order one of those starter kits, you get a second gun for free. I don't know why this is happening.
I like the Hogan's Alley B game where you shoot the cans. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Lucky and Wild.
Yeah, Lucky and Wild's all right. You know what's a good game? A good fucked up Lycon game? Gumshoe. He just walks through the environment. You shoot him to jump, and then also you shoot the stuff around him.
Oh, that's like Baby's Day Out.
Yeah, pretty much. But also like limited bullets in a way that like makes that game a little brutal in spots, and you have to get these diamonds. Like all good video games, you have to get the diamonds.
Yeah.
My favorite Lycan game isn't a Lycan game. It's Typing of the Dead.
Yeah, sure.
It's really good.
I would agree with that. I liked Virtua Cop a lot back in the day.
Virtua Cop and Virtua Cop 2 are really awesome.
Those games are great because they actually reacted to where you shot
Yeah.
them. That's the reason they were
It wasn't
so cool.
like fucking
wasn't just
FMV
these-
or Lethal Enforcers or whatever.
I wonder if they expect this thing to do business on the PC. Because it's just a USB camera. Like, I
Right.
wonder if they're trying to position this thing as something people that like emulate old games would want to buy.
There are a lot of different solutions for that. If that's the route you want to go, like there's been companies selling various light guns for years that are like pretty MAME compatible at this point. There's a Kickstarter. I don't know if it's running right now or if it's over or whatever, but there was a Kickstarter for some kind of new light gun recently that I think it wanted you to put in. This is where it broke down for me. Is like I think they wanted you to put like a white tape around the outside edge of your screen to like sight it in or whatever, to give it a boundary, because
that's a bit
old
much.
light guns don't work the same way that they used to. And that seemed crazy. People are using Wiimotes a lot for that sort of stuff too. You just got to calibrate it a lot.
Yeah.
But like you can use a Wiimote on a Mister now to play like Super Scope games and shit, or a mouse with a cursor, which works fine as well.
Sure.
I feel like I've played more light gun games with a mouse over the last decade than with light guns for sure.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to spend $100 to get some downloadable light gun games on your Xbox One soon, you're in luck.
No.
Okay. All right.
Like if they were like, hey, it's all the Time Crisis games
Yeah.
or something. Or like, hey, here's Point Blank. Here's
yes.
you know.
Aside from Big Buck Hunter, those games I think are totally new.
Yeah.
Although you could probably guess what Voyage of the Dead is going to be like.
No idea, man.
Yeah.
Zombie boat. Who
can
could say?
Yeah. All right. That's it for emails.
Do you think a voyage has to have a boat at some part?
Spaceship, something that passes for a boat.
Something ship-like.
Something that you would find maybe a captain on.
Something that you're spending time on, kind of formulating the plan of your voyage.
Right.
I guess you're right, but man,
Maybe like a bathysphere.
what's a bathysphere?
It's like a submergible,
old-timey diving
submersible
thing.
The big orb-looking thing.
Big
pretty
metal
much.
sphere
Okay.
kind of thing. Kind of Bioshocky,
All right.
that era. Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks to everybody who emailed in.
Whether we took your emails or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Thanks to everybody that maybe signed up.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
we just concluded a premium sale over the weekend.
Yeah. Premium memberships still available at giantbomb.com/upgrade.
We're waving to
You
you.
get a store coupon for hot T-shirts.
Yeah, that's right.
You can see this if you're watching
If
live.
you're watching live.
T-shirts are a good thing to wear.
Yeah.
They're comfy.
I'm wearing one right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Under.
Yeah.
It's under.
Yeah.
Can't really see it.
Yeah, we'll have some stuff going on this week.
Yes.
Things will happen.
Yeah.
Stuff will get recorded.
Yeah, we're gonna hook up this, try and get video out
Yeah.
of this Quest and
Yeah.
see if we can do something with it. Fuck around with that.
Got some other stuff long in production that should be coming along.
Yeah.
Yes.
As we ramp up for E3.
Yeah.
Who's excited?
We got to put boxes on a truck soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
labels just got delivered
Oh,
this
great.
morning.
Yeah. Very soon.
Got to ship a couch down again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get out of
Almost
here.
got out of it.
Yeah.
Almost found a way out of it.
Oh, wait. I thought we were going to get a local couch.
We did. We did. Well, no. We got a local to here, shipped to here couch.
I'm so
If you want to go
confused
sit on
when
it, it's over there.
No,
popped
no.
up.
I thought we were going to get an LA couch.
No, this is our LA couch.
Oh, boy. All right. Well.
Are we going to leave it there?
No.
All right. Well, I'm going to go sit on the LA couch. Will you guys be answering questions shortly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
After show coming up.
After show
if you're
coming
watching
up.
live,
If you're live, call in.
stick around.
Ask about E3
Talk about
Don't.
or Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
Oculus business. I don't
Yeah.
know. This stuff.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Support for today's show comes to you apart from new Starbucks Triple Shot Energy. Starbucks Triple Shot Energy has 225 milligrams of caffeine from Starbucks coffee, a hint of flavor, and it's enhanced with guarana, B vitamins, and ginseng for that energy to do what matters to you. It's available in 3 delicious flavors, including French vanilla, cafe mocha, and caramel. Find it in your local grocery or convenience store.